recording for YouTube as well.
Hang this out then.
Hi!
Are you
The show is about to go live around the world at TWS.com. Just in case anyone's wondering.
I said, are
Headphones.
you ready?
I've spilled water down myself, which is always a good start to any show.
We're streaming, we're in the building.
Live.
This is the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes and Pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
You're on, Cody.
Total wrestling show.
You couldn't be more wrong, my friend. Oh, I better be in this. That's like one waiting to talk then. It's me who does it.
Total Wrestling Show Live.
Ready?
Yeah. Here we go, going live. Hiya! Peace! Well, welcome to TWS Radio. It is Sunday night, it is 7 o'clock, and we are live. Or on podcast, wherever we are, we're at TotalWrestlingShow.com, broadcasting around the world, and now we are also being streamed around the world at TWS Radio on Periscope and at Facebook Live. I'm Dan, I'm your host for the evening, and I'm joined by part of my team Mafia team that we've got here at TWS. First of all, the lady who's in the chat room tonight at TotalWrestlingShow.com, she's going to be your voice for the show. Welcome back to the show, Cybil.
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
yeah. Ready to be your voice of the chat room.
Doing a bit of a baseball cap kind of look tonight, a bit different.
Yeah, I don't get the big deal.
You're wearing a hat. It's different. You're sponsored by Nike. No?
That would be nice, actually.
Lovely.
Give us a call.
Also in here tonight is our producer. He's the man who pushes all the knobs and buttons each and every other week. It's Toby.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Not wearing a hat.
Not wearing a hat. No hat today.
No hats.
I only wore a hat when the camera's behind me to hide certain patches of my
Attention.
head.
Neck.
We'll say neck. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
How's everyone been? Good weekend? Let's have a bit of a chat. Good weekend, everyone? Everyone done anything exciting?
No.
No.
I have. Ask me what I've done.
No.
No.
We've been through the oh, Dan, what did you do this weekend?
I climbed a
See any
mountain.
good hills?
I climbed a mountain.
Have we got the definition that it is a mountain?
No, we still are waiting confirmation that it is a
That's
mountain.
still waiting confirmation.
So if you're listening to some podcast and you are maybe a geologist or something and you know the definition between a mountain and a hill, please tweet us at heel.
The heel, as in basin heel.
Yeah, go.
As a hill, even. Please tweet us at TWS Radio and
Because
tell
a
us.
mountain and a heel are two different things. But then that's back to your feet thing, isn't it? So can we not talk about that?
Braun Strowman's a man mountain and he's technically a heel, isn't he? Or is he a babyface?
Tweener.
Tweener.
He's a heel. He's a heel, isn't he? Let's call it a heel.
Well,
Call it heel a heel.
We are going to be talking about Braun Strowman tonight, that and so much more. Toby, while I go and fix the YouTube camera, which is just
Has it
fallen
dropped
over.
again?
Yes. Do you want to go and tell everyone what we'll be talking about tonight?
I will indeed. On this week's show, we have a round table. Yes, we're bringing round table back, and this week it's about the state of the women's division and its booking. And we're not just talking about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We're not just talking about SmackDown. We're talking Raw. We're talking NXT. We're talking Ring of Honor and Impact 2. We are talking women's wrestling across the board. We also have Network and Chill, where this week we'll be discussing such subjects as Big Kaz and Enzo's breakup. Let's just have a moment for that. That's sad thing.
It's polarised a lot of people.
Braun Strowman's return, Miz and his entourage, and friend of the show, Cody Rhodes, the man that brought the show in today, winning the ROH title. We will also announce the winner of the TWS pay-per-view prize pack for last week's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And there are tickets to be won to CWF Wrestling in Southampton. It says on here featuring Bram. Not sure if it's featuring Bram anymore because of last night's news in Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that.
We have got some news on Bram coming up in a little bit, and we'll break some more information down on Bram.
We have got some breaking news in the chat room as well.
Breaking news, have we?
We have a chat about that.
What's the breaking news?
Cannon has given it to us. She said the United Kingdom and the United States used to define hills as summits less than 1,000 feet. So if it's over 1,000 feet, then that would be a mountain.
Dan?
Well,
How many feet was
You
it?
broke it into feet, didn't you?
I climbed 210 metres, which
Yeah.
according to Google is 688.976 foot. So
It's a hill.
So it's a hill.
it's a mountain. It looked like
No,
a
no,
mountain.
no. We have just got clarification that it's in fact a hill.
It's right here in black and white.
It's a mountain. I'm saying.
You can call it a mountain, Dan. We all know the truth.
I'm sorry. I think. Not that I'm saying Cameron, who's very good in her facts, normally is right in our chat. Is wrong in our chat room, but she's wrong. It's as simple as that.
It's not an opinion thing. It's a fact.
No,
It's a hill.
it's an opinion, and she's wrong. We don't need to have any
So
more.
also Google's wrong as well.
Google's wrong.
And
Do you
the
know-
United Kingdom and the United States.
She broke it from Wikipedia and anyone can edit
I
Wikipedia.
found out that the Ordnance Survey people are only around the corner, aren't they?
They are indeed, actually.
I saw it earlier, so we can go knock on their door later and see if anyone's in.
Maybe we could do like a little
I know
road
a few
trip.
people who work there. I'll give them a call.
Yeah. We'll get clarification on this issue.
Well,
Screw this show, out the window. Let's just go on a mountain trek to see
I
not a
don't.
mountain in a hill.
Dan did. He went on
He
a
did, he went
mountain
on
trek.
it. No, he went on a hill trek.
I don't want to talk about what's the name? Carmella winning Money in the Bank. I want to talk about mountains and hills.
Specifically
heels.
hills, apparently. Heels.
Hills, not heels.
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 Hills.
Heels.
Hills.
Heels. Heels.
Well, I'm doing it in some sort of Eastern European accent. You went,
Dan
up,
is-
you went up the hill.
Tack says Dad's making a mountain out of a molehill.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you, Tack. I'm glad you're here every week.
Let's move on.
Okay, so speaking of making a mountain out of molehills, last week, work with me on this.
I'm waiting for this. I don't know where you're going.
Well,
I'm interested.
Last week we did Team Wars for the Prediction League. We previewed Money in the Bank, right? And we do a little prediction league table. It's called Team Wars, and we give points to it. And 4 teams got points for Money in the Bank, and we're going to run through them very briefly now. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about the dark match link, Toby. I know you're looking at me.
No,
I
that's
think
fine.
we're all lost.
It's
now.
fine. Just
So-
like you make this show plan. If you want to, disregard it and just go on your merry way, fine.
So Cybil, we're going to be flexible, Toby. It's a fluid show. Let it kind of flow.
Like a river,
Like a
an
river.
ocean.
Yeah, just goes where it wants to go.
Down a mountain.
Down a mountain. There you go. See. So Cybil, how did we do points-wise for Money in the Bank this past week?
Okay, Money in the Bank results. Right. Mafia and Podcast got 10 points each. Family got 11. And Live got 13.
So we didn't do that bad then.
Well, we did. We did.
We got at least
Or
points.
last.
Well, we got joint last points.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Dan.
10
yeah.
points is a good number of points to get.
Do you know who predicted every single match right? Do you know Dan? Do you know who did that, Dan?
I've been there myself in the past.
Good as 13.
Yeah, okay, so how did that affect the overall standing, Cybil? How's everyone standing now?
Well, you might not be surprised to know that Mafia got 94 points in all now, and we are last. Nobody's shocked by that. Podcast 97 points, Live 104, and I'm sure not another surprise. Family with 107 in the lead.
But it could all change next week.
As long as everybody else get absolutely everything wrong and we get everything right,
You say that.
then we may.
You say that every week, don't you?
But next week is a bit different, because next week
We've got the power,
it's TNA Slammiversary.
apparently.
A preview. Well, yeah, we've got to cover that now. You're going to get an announcement from Impact Wrestling tomorrow whether they are going to be airing Slammiversary over here in the UK. My understanding is from our sources that yes, it will air. I've even heard rumours that it will air Monday after the Sunday, so we're not going to get like a week later. It'll be like maybe as early as Monday afternoon or Monday evening, which would be great.
Afternoon.
Well, they said Monday PM, so that's my unofficial source. So we'll know more tomorrow. Impact UK. So if you follow Impact Wrestling UK on Facebook, they're making an announcement there.
Okay.
Interesting. So, and as things stand, TWS will be doing Team Wars preview next, which I know we are stronger with Impact than the family are, which means we potentially could make some get some points back.
I'm literally just going to rely on you for that.
It's fine.
We will know my history with TNA. We won't go. We're Impact as it is now. We won't go into that one. But Dan, you're a very strong Impact viewer, so we got some power.
So fun. And then there's a lot of we got some more. The master in the chat room was asking about in Slammiversary. We have got some news about Slammiversary coming up in a little bit. Speaking of the chat room, each and every week we have our chat room, which is live at TWSWrestlingshow.com. You can go in there and chat and pass your comments across. If you're watching on Facebook or on Periscope at TWS Radio, please go to TWSWrestlingshow.com, click on Listen Live and join the chat room. Loads of people in there, and Cybil will be getting as many of their comments as she can throughout the night. But Toby, we do a little kind of game with the chat room every week. We call it our dark match game, where we kind of...
We do each and every week between the hours of 6 and 7, give or take. We like to play music for everyone, and that music always has a link, and it is your job to work out said link. And this week was no different. There was a link. Do you want to know some of the names we had in there?
Let's go down some of the names we had there, Cybil.
The Bella Twins was one of them.
We also had Michelle McCool.
The lovely Maurice.
Alicia Fox.
And Beth Phoenix. And many, many more. In total, there was 19 songs played today. Very specifically 19. Now, I'm going to go to Cybil first. Cybil, let's get it out of the way. Do you know what the link is?
Yes, I do.
What's that?
Wrestling.
Correct, it is wrestling.
Again, every single week I get this right.
Dan, you had an idea which was very good, and I think it's correct, but it's not what I'm looking for. What was your idea?
Well, I was under the impression it was female wrestlers who had been romantically linked to other male wrestlers.
Yes, which I think is actually correct, but it's not what I'm looking for. Although Layla,
I don't know about Layla. I don't think
know about
Layla.
Layla.
No.
I think there was another one. Eve Torres, is she in real life?
Well, technically, Eve Torres had a thing with Michael Hayes.
No.
That was Rosa, wasn't it?
That was Rosa.
That was Rosa. Eve Torres. No, I don't know about
I
Eve
don't
Torres.
think she did.
No,
did she?
maybe not.
So maybe not. But everyone else, yeah, there was.
So Scott in our chat room said he thinks it's former Diva champions.
Any other guesses in there?
No, they're all talking about Donald Trump doing a Slammiversary.
Scotty. In fact, we played
There was a couple of other chats with guesses, but they were further up.
We played all 19 former Divas Championship holders. They all were Divas champions at one point. Even Gillian Hall.
See, I don't remember
Which
Gillian
was
Hall
one
holding
night.
at all.
It was after her mole got eaten off.
I generally don't remember that, but
You want me? That song's a great song. I just like playing that song. She had it for, apparently, I forgot, but according to Wikipedia, she had it for one night.
who did she lose again? Who'd she beat?
I can't remember who she beat, but she lost it to Melina. I think she beat, top of my head now, this is. I think it might be Michelle McCool.
The other name who I forget ever held the Divas Championship, and she did was Natty.
Natty, we didn't have Natty's correct music, we just found it. So I started with Natty, but she was in there.
Yeah.
There are some names in there that you wouldn't expect. The rest of them are quite straightforward, obviously Michelle McCool. The last song we finished with there was the last ever Divas champion, and that was Charlotte. We also had the Bella Twins in there and people like that. They're all quite, but there was a lot. It's quite interesting, it's going to link tonight, but you can see how far they've come with some of those names that had that title, which let's call a spade, they're not the greatest of workers. You know, how far it's come, but I'm sure we'll talk about that more in Roundtable when it comes up.
Chris Trigger also got the Divas Champion thing right as well. Scotty saying in the chat room, was Eve Torres the one who turned on Zack Ryder and chased after Cena? Yes, she was.
She was indeed, but I don't think she was actually romantically linked in real life. Was she?
Tack
No.
said,
She was also on Table for 3 this week.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you seen it?
I've seen a bit of it.
Maurice, Eve and Kelly.
Which I thought was a weird combination of the three to kind of...
Maurice shows good personality. The other two have about
They're a bit wooden.
as much charisma as a shredded wheat. It's, yeah. Maurice is good in it though. Good that she's the only one who's still got the job. So.
Sorry, Sybil, you were saying...
Tack said, Layla L is married to Ricky Ortiz, so give Dan the point.
Oh.
Is it really?
Apparently.
See? Wow. Thank you, Tag. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ricky Ortiz, whatever happened to him?
He was the surfer guy, wasn't he?
In NXT at one point. Did he go to
Was
NXT
he?
or was he on SmackDown?
Wasn't he on ECW or something?
He was on ECW, you're right, he was.
He had the curly hair.
That's the one. That's the one.
He didn't hang around that long.
No, he wasn't around long at all. Well, there you go. TWS is very busy at the moment. We've got loads of stuff going on at the moment, and there are loads of bonus shows coming out. We've had released numerous Total Talks in the last month or so. We've done some really good ones. We've got Jack Swagger, John Morrison, the aforementioned Cody Rhodes, which I think, to be fair, is one of our best interviews we've ever done. And I'm biased, but I think it's a cracking interview.
Apart from he's completely wrong.
On
the
the
Pineapple Gate. Have a check there, it is Pineapple Gate.
It is Pineapple Gate.
Don't know what he's talking about.
We've also recently done a few British ones. So coming up, or literally released this week, we have a great Total Talk with Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
who said, well, you may remember, we first interviewed him at on the road, and he spent the whole time lunging at us and didn't take it.
Yes.
Wasn't a very serious interview at
No.
all. I got to spend a good couple of hours with him in the car, and we've got I think about a 40-minute interview available now at TWSwrestlingshow.com and on iTunes. Really great. We've got some good feedback on it already from Rob Alderson.
Alderson.
Johnny Storm is a really nice guy and a very talented wrestler. I've met him a couple of times at Full House Wrestling. I've never heard of Full House Wrestling, where he's a big fan favourite with the kids. He is, and he talks a lot about his character and his all through this interview. It's a very interesting interview with Johnny. He's very honest. He's normally quite a closed kind of guy. He was quite open with me in this interview, so definitely worth checking out.
Did he know you were recording?
Yeah, he did. The other thing as well you want to check out as well, we finally released it. We talked about it on the birthday show. That's how long ago it was. We announced this bonus spin-off show called TWS Ring Steps.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a monthly show. Once a month, myself and Klondike Kate's daughter, Connie Steele, will sit down, talk about her career and her development in wrestling. So we're going to follow her as she goes along and what she's doing. But also we cover other topics. So we cover women's wrestling this week. We cover the Mae Young Classic and a lot of other stuff.
So last time we did something like this, we did it with Adam Cole, and look where he ended up. So keep your ears peeled, because this might be his peeled. Yeah, I've just mixed up two sayings there. Because this might be a massive star in the future that we have exclusive rights to.
It could be, and she's very open and she's incredibly honest about some of the stuff. And we've got a lot of stuff we can cover. She covers the fact being a single mum and being a wrestler, working or training under Klondike Kate and the pressures her mum puts on her, all that kind of stuff. It's a really interesting talk. So definitely worth checking out. Again, available at TWSwrestlingshow.com. So, little plug. There
Plug. Sounds good.
While you're at TWSwrestlingshow.com, you can vote on our poll toes.
You can, and this week's poll links directly into the round table that we're about to talk about. So you might want to hold off and maybe you want to listen to what we got to say about it before you vote. But if not, you have your opinions, you can vote now. I'm sure we'll give you a bit of an update later. But it is which brand, if we say brand, we'll put it apparently, books their women better. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Ring of Honor, or Impact Wrestling. Which brand books their women better? I'm sure that is what we're going to talk about after the break, is it not, Dan?
We are indeed. It feeds into our round table coming up very shortly. We will leave the poll running all week for our podcast listeners.
Of course we would. We wouldn't like them to not get their voice and opinions heard, and next week the family will update with the results. But we might be able to have a little look later, can we?
I think we should do. I think we absolutely should
update.
do. Kind of see what's going on in the poll, so get voting.
Maybe we'll give our opinions as well.
Oh, I think that's part of this round table, Toby. That is part of this round table. Do you know what? Let's not talk about it anymore. Well, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's not
but it's not talk about anything anymore.
Kind of what we do, Dan.
It's kind of what we do. It's not an award-winning thing, But no, let's get into it.
Mark Henry, wasn't it?
What?
That is the thing.
It's what I do. Was that
Something
him?
like that,
Was that him? That's what I do. Yeah, that was him, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what I do. That's how I do.
That's what I swear it is. That's what I
do.
Yeah, that's what I do. But it never really got over as the Hall of Pain did. Where is Mark Henry anyway?
I don't know.
So, he hasn't been seen on Raw, I think, since the draft.
He's doing a big show, isn't he?
Well,
Kane, getting that reduced work stack down, you know?
Do you know, I'm not necessarily complaining, but I don't necessarily want to see Mark Henry regularly on Raw.
He was doing something not long ago, wasn't he? Did he come out as like, he did, he had like one mate come out as like, they said, oh, we're going to have a partner or something, and he came out, and it was like, oh, that wasn't very good. Like, how big show did Benzo a little bit?
Might have been.
And he just come out as someone's partner, and that was it.
Tell us at TWS Radio, when was the last time Mark Henry was on WWE TV? Because no, let me rephrase that. When was the last time he was working a match in WWE TV?
He's probably had a backstage segment or something.
Yeah, I remember him being a backstage segment, but I don't remember anything else. So, did you hear that interview with The Big Show?
Well, he was in the Andre Giant Battle Royal.
I don't think he was. We're going to get fact checked.
I just said everyone else was.
Everyone else was.
So,
did you hear that interview with The Big Show this past week? I forget who he did it with. He basically was saying about the fact he loves doing the live shows, like the house shows and that kind of stuff. He gets really, really peed off with WWE. They keep flying him into Raw, and they do nothing with him. Like this week, they flew him in for that one segment. I mean, it was an interesting segment at the end with Kurt Angle and Big Cass and all that kind of stuff. But he said literally he gets so peed off, he sits around all day. Yeah. He's a big guy. So
but he's done a lot of work as well. He's put the effort in the past. He's got a six-pack. He's ripped now.
Yeah. So
best physical condition he's ever been in, and then don't want to use you, mate.
We've been fact checked in the chat room. Chris Twiggs, Mark Henry's last appearance was the 2017 Royal Rumble, where he entered number 6.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
According to Taki, was in the Battle Royal though at WrestleMania.
Oh, right, okay.
So can't people get it right? Right, okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into the round table. It's your chance to have your say on the women in wrestling. Sorry?
It's time for TWS Roundtable. Are we a TWS ambassador or what? Let's talk about some wrestling.
What's happened?
That's the Daniel Bryan thing that he was on Talking Smack.
I don't know, is this it now? It's been a long time.
Yeah. TWS's Roundtable kicks off the show tonight, and this is sponsored by CWF Wrestling in the Novotel Hotel in Southampton on the 13th of August. It is potentially featuring Bran. More news on that in a second. It's a charity show for the Alzheimer's Society, so please get down there and give it a try and support the company as well as the society. Tickets are available now at skittles.com. That's skittles.com. Also, they're available on the door on the night.
We said Skittles.
No, Skittles.
I said Skittles. What, taste the rainbow?
No, you can't taste the rainbow. You can taste the Skittle, which is don't know what that is.
Skittle. It's just
Or-
somewhere that sells tickets, apparently.
Yes, or you can win tickets, Toby.
Can you indeed?
You can
Is this the
indeed.
one that I alluded to earlier?
It was indeed. You can get a pair of tickets by simply emailing studio@totwrestlingshow.com. That's studio@totwrestlingshow.com with your name and address.
No, it can't be that simple.
It is that
It
simple.
can't be that simple.
It is that
We
simple.
don't give away things that easy, do we?
Well, we do. We give away tickets that easily.
Not even a question.
No.
Not even like anything.
No.
Just name and address.
What we do ask, can you just put in the title tickets just so I know? So I can
That's all you have to do.
search through the emails. We get a lot of emails. It's easier.
Just in the subject box, just put tickets
Yes.
with your name and address
Name and address.
to studio@totalwrestlingshow.com.
That's the email address. That's correct. Yes.
That's all you got to do.
That's what you got to do.
Wow.
Straightforward as that. Also, we should actually announce, because we've been tweeted by at @CTwiggers on Twitter with regards to the news on Bran. It looks like Magnus.
Magnus tweeted earlier
Yes.
saying that he went into surgery.
So Magnus, or at Real Nick Aldis as his Twitter handle, Tom open brackets close brackets Bran was badly injured last night in Rome. First things first, he is not in any danger, so no need to panic. But when I left the hospital last night, they were preparing him up for surgery, and as of now, all I know is that surgery went fine, but we'll have to wait.
So I don't think that was Magnus who wrote that.
Oh, is it he?
I think he's tweeted someone else's thing, if my understanding's right.
Yes. He's forwarded the tweet on, basically.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. But it sounds he's in surgery. It sounds serious. He's apparently okay.
Yes, he's pulled out of the Pride promotion show, which I think was tonight, which he was on.
I think that's what Magnus was tweeting.
Yes, he
about.
was indeed. Yes, so we don't know whether he will be at the CWS show in Southampton. We hope he will be.
But if you need surgery, I mean, it's got to be something. A break, maybe. It
Could
must
be a break
be-
or a tear.
Yeah.
Either way, you're not looking at coming back within 24, 48 hours, are you?
Hopefully, it's nothing more serious than that.
Yes. We'll let you know more when we know it. Obviously, Bran, friend of this show, that you can, without plugging, you can go back and listen to his interview only 2 weeks ago with us. It's available at
And
topwrestlingshow.com.
we really like Bram because he's in Pineapple Gate.
He's
So he's a good man. We like Bram. He knows what he's on about. He knows his stuff.
So we send Bram all the best and get well soon. So this is Round Table. This is something we threw up on our Facebook page as well, and we want your comments at topwrestlingshow.com in the chat room. For me, it kind of came out of the women's Money in the Bank match from this past week's Sunday's pay-per-view. James Ellsworth getting the win, in air quotes.
He didn't get the win.
He pulled the briefcase down. First time ever that's actually happened, that someone else pulled the briefcase down.
We need to talk about this in a minute.
Okay.
So carry on.
And the match then is now being repeated, coming up this week on SmackDown, where they basically are going to redo the match. My thought was, and also with some of the rumours coming out with the booking of Bayley, what they're going to do with her, is WWE slipping into some older habits again and getting a bit lazy with their women's booking and not giving it the same serious format and tilt that they have been giving since we had this women's revolution? And that got me kind of thinking, okay, well, who does book women's wrestling best out of the brands we can traditionally see on TV? And that's why we want you voting on the poll on the right-hand side of topwrestlingshow.com with regards to who you think, which brand, in air quotes, books women's wrestling best.
So first, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Go on
Okay. James Ellsworth winning, as we're saying. Now he didn't win because even JBL, I think it was, said, and I can't remember what they did this in another match before, where someone took down. No, they did it in the X division, and your feet have to hit the floor. and that's in the Ultimate X. And they did that with a ladder match for a while. Your feet have to hit the floor, so whoever retrieves it and gets down the ladder, which is kind of what they alluded to. But then later on that night, when Baron Corbin did it, he just pulled it off and they rang the bell when he's at the top of the ladder.
That's very
So,
true, actually. Yes, that is very
Even
true.
in the same show, we've just been told two different rules.
That's a good point, actually. I hadn't clicked on that, but that is actually a really good
Because
point.
traditionally, they get it at the briefcase, and the bell rings, and they sit on top of the ladder for a bit, going, "Hey, look at me with a briefcase, right?" But then they said about Carmella, well, have he
I
touched
suppose
the floor?
technically it was the fact that she was the first person of the
match.
who got hold of the briefcase. So when he dropped it, if Natalia had jumped over and grabbed it before she had, then
Interception.
interception, then it would have been Natalia who won it. I just thought this was for me, this was going to be a groundbreaking match for the women. It was their first women's Money in the Bank match on pay-per-view. The match itself, I thought, was fine. It was very safe. It was very simple. There wasn't any kind of major big spots. They definitely saved them for the men's match later on in the card. But I then think you then have this. I know you're going to have the James Ellsworth kind of factor. That was always going to be. Then we've had it before in previous Money in the Bank matches with.
Like with Kane lifting up Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and you've seen it with Vicky Guerrero getting involved in the past, and
that was the ladder match for Dominic.
No, she did it with Dolph in one of them. Yeah, and also
did it for Dominic as well for the Rey Mysterio Eddie angle.
Well, there you go.
First introduced WWE.
He also did it with Del Rio's old mouthpiece, whose name I completely forget. Ricardo
Rodriguez.
So they've done it before, but they've never done. This was the first match of its kind, and I think you wanted. Yes, you could have had a heel win. You could still have Carmella winning it, and she could have done it in some kind of way where she maybe stole it last minute from someone. But I just think it stole a lot of thunder from what this kind of prestigious event and moment to have James Ellsworth climb up and just basically drop it to her.
Is there such a thing as prestigious events and moments anymore?
I think so. First, to be the
wrestling.
To be the first of anything, I think is prestigious.
Yeah.
So from a woman's point of view, right? I don't want to play a sexist card here a little bit, but I'm going to.
He likes doing it.
If you had, you were keen to see this match yourself. It was, one of the first for women. If you're kind, that way of putting it. That's what you are.
You're kind.
You are a woman. Your sex. Your sex.
Yeah, that's the correct word.
Okay.
Not kind.
To your sex.
Oh, Dad.
You should stop talking, to be honest.
Did you think it was degrading, if I want a better way of putting it, to what the girls have done out there, and the amount of effort they put in to get to this point where they wanted to be, they basically were wrestling for Money in the Bank. Did you find it?
Do I think it was
degrading?
How's it degrading?
Because it's making them take a backwards step.
Why have they taken a backward step? I don't understand.
Because the bloke won the match for them.
If this was done,
we didn't win.
If this was done the other way round and it happened
and
in the men's
women came
match,
in, you were like, oh,
we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah,
I think we would. I think we would.
I don't think we would.
No.
I think we'd probably go, can they do that? Like, I don't think we'd be saying,
yeah,
is that...
they can, fair play.
They wouldn't go, it's disgusting and degrading. I think we would say, can they do that in the rules of the match? It'd be the same if someone's tag partner did it.
But
I think what we should be more talking about is the fact that you have seen Flair and have really good matches with her Hell in a Cell match.
Sasha.
With Sasha. And they could have brought something like that to this, and I think it was a little bit weak in that point of view, in showing their strengths as women wrestlers and their endurance as women wrestlers. But in the fact of the finish, it was fun. It was comedy. It was exactly what we thought might happen.
Especially with Ellsworth.
It was good that they showed the storyline, and it was good that he was there. I don't get those big deals. Was it degrading? And I don't understand that.
I think when we're looking, it is a bit of a litmus test, this match.
Very much
to
so,
see
yes.
how it goes. I think they're going to do it again.
What else are they going to do? They're doing it this Tuesday.
Well, yeah. Which will be interesting to see what that's like.
Well, we'll get on to that in a minute.
I think we'll see. It depends on the cash in and stuff like that, and how. Is it just for the SmackDown Women's title? Is it for both? We don't know, I suppose.
No,
I think they just said SmackDown.
They have been quite clear on both of these. They've said on the men's one and the women's one,
Yeah.
it's for the SmackDown brand.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I think they were playing a bit safe for the first time. But I mean, if you look at it as well, right? We had every single, apart from two of the female athletes in the match, because we had Lana and Naomi later on. If any of those got injured, that's a really big dent to that women's division.
Yeah.
Whereas in the men's match, if someone gets injured, there's a lot of other blokes there ready to kind of fill in.
Step up.
where you don't have that luxury in the women's division because there's so few numbers on each brand.
The Canon said, "I'm sick of the WWE rewriting history because they don't have the guts to stick to their convictions when they make poor judgment. Either have Ellsworth win it for Carmella or don't have the finish in the first place."
I don't know why they didn't just go, no, she's got the briefcase, crack on.
I think we've had worse finishes with other matches than that.
Oh, agreed.
Is there a worse finish in a Money in the Bank match though?
No, I don't think there has been.
Because it's quite hard to make a bad finish in a ladder match, really.
And that's kind of my point. I think the fact that it was the first one. If this was like it was the guys' one, and say Miz was in that match, I mean, it wouldn't be. But
And Maurice dropped.
and Maurice, and I'd be like, fine. We've had loads of Money in the Bank matches. Different spin on the finish.
Didn't that happen last year?
Ooh.
I'm sure someone, was it Maurice or someone else, climbed for.
They have had people climb before, but not necessarily take the briefcase down or the contract down. However you want to think
I'm
about
sure someone's manager did it last year.
it.
Can't remember.
But they've got. But for me, the fact that it's a big thing. This first Money Back. I think they had the ability to more set the bar and go. They do like we'll say
I
probably
think
with the Hell in the Cell match. I did that with Hell in the Cell.
I think the
Apart from
worst
the table.
thing that
Yeah.
they're doing now is they're redoing the match. And not on a pay-per-view, and not on a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They're just giving it away on
TV.
a TV, which does kind of belittle the very first women's match that we're all going on about, that it was the first, it should have been history made, blah blah blah. History was made
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
with the finish.
we know why they're doing it again though. It's because SmackDown ratings have been dropping so much that they're trying to bring back those viewers, and a Money in the Bank match is an amazing way to do it.
Well, if you think back in the, I say going back in the day, I know Toby loves going back attitude era here.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
But they did the, I'm gonna get this wrong now. They did a ladder match again on Raw after the Hardys and Edge and Christian ladder match. They repeated it again on Raw 2 weeks later, I think, because they wanted to spike the ratings.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with that random TLC they did on Raw that time.
Oh, Miz and is that
no,
Miz and King?
they had they had
Flair.
they had the team ones. They had it was Hurricane and
Kane.
was that Hurricane Kane one or was that Kane and RVD? They had that match. They won awards. That match actually won awards because people got so excited about it. It was a Raw match, but it helped spike the ratings. And they've all done. The ratings for SmackDown have been struggling.
Tax, it doesn't matter what they say. This is now the second Money in the Bank women's match. The first is still the first.
True.
Chris Twigg says, "I can't stand that they're having a second women's Money in the Bank this quickly. Carmella's major heat is now gone, and she had an amazing promo on Tuesday."
So this is the question: is when they redo it, who it's going on? Do
Yeah.
they stick? Because if you stick by
they've
Carmella,
got to.
and she is the right choice. She's 100% the right person to have that briefcase because people were saying she either lacked skill or anything like that. Then her cash-in would validate that a little bit,
And also the character kind of works with it.
and it gives Ellsworth something to carry,
yeah, it
Right?
doesn't it?
Yeah.
which would be perfect. It works, but I think if she now wins it, it is completely pointless. I almost feel like someone else needed to win it, or maybe she won the second one to get the heat that way.
Yeah, I think what
You know what I mean?
what you could have done in some ways is have that. Well, I said that Ellsworth climbed the ladder, Carmella's underneath, he drops it, and then someone intercepts it, and then you have that big controversy about, well, no, it should have been Carmella's, it should have
Yeah,
been.
but would it be in a contact? That is exactly the same thing. It wouldn't be
But then,
controversial.
then they can strip whoever it. Say they put it on Natty, they can strip Natty of the
Yeah.
case, and then they could have it again this week, and then have Carmella win it.
If Carmella walks out with the briefcase this week,
It seems pointless to me. Yeah.
It is. But then who else do you put it on? There's, Tamina's not going to do anything with it. Natty might work because of the frustration she's
Yeah,
had.
yeah. Natty would be
Charlotte
nice.
always works. Becky, I don't think really works because of her
I
gimmick.
got the impression this week from her promo on SmackDown when she was backstage talking to Daniel Bryan that Becky was getting frustrated and was saying, she almost said, "What have I got to do? Why I'm always the nice one doing the nice stuff and I'm never winning." You almost got the impression that there's an ability there to almost turn Becky heel.
Right.
But then SmackDown is too
In
heavy
the
on heels.
5 people in the Money in the Bank match, Becky was the only face.
I know. I'm just saying.
You can't then turn her, and then you only have Naomi as a face, and everyone else is heel.
No, you'd have Charlotte. Charlotte's technically tweening. She's kind of sitting on the fence a little bit.
She's still a heel, isn't she?
She works better as a heel, granted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying turn Becky, but I'm saying because I agree it would be so heavy
Yeah.
on the heels, it wouldn't work.
Unless you
But
double turn.
can you do that in the Money in the Bank?
Hmm.
It's got, also the reason.
Your fan favourite's going to win it. No, then you have to have a heel winning it. No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work with it.
The other thing, another reason for Carmella should win it is she's got the new threads with money all over it.
Unless,
Yeah, she's got to.
that would be good.
Yeah.
Unless Ellsworth joins Becky and screws over Carmella. There's your double turn.
Becky. Oh, I see. So he's basically been
That's the only way I can see a double turn.
seeing Becky behind Carmella's back.
I don't know. They're supposed to be seeing each other, are they?
He wants her to.
Yeah.
He claims they're girlfriend. She's their friends.
Because she started off as his fashion advisor or something,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yes.
His stylist.
So
Tack said it's a pity Ellsworth wasn't there to help Corbin undo the briefcase he was having major issues.
He did struggle with it, didn't
That
he?
was just quite funny from the chat room.
it wasn't as bad as Jack Swagger though, because Jack Swagger took a very long time to do it. Yeah, I did think that myself. He was over the match himself with the hook.
I was watching him going, mate, you just have to take one more step up. He stopped far too soon and he's reaching up. I was like, you're taking one more step up. You're like there, you're in line.
So
We digress.
We'll digress. So, go on, Cybil.
Tack said, why doesn't Becky just ask Lana, do a Lana and just ask Naomi for a title match? It seems to work.
Mm.
Just ask.
What's the point of this Money in the Bank match if you can just ask for
Just
title
ask
matches?
for the title.
Lana's had 2 title matches, and never had a match before.
So-
And wasn't that just what all this happened with? Is that he said, all Charlotte came in was to ask.
Yes.
And then Natalia asked, didn't get one.
Yeah, there's a definite pattern here.
And
Coming.
then Lana asked and got one.
Got one.
So favouritism.
So you said about Lana, you said that she shouldn't have lost the first match. Well, this was your belief before the match.
I felt
because it was her first match. And now, they might be making her lose her first 2 matches.
See, now I've heard the rumour that they want to get a bit of TV spiking ratings and that kind of stuff. There's rumours they're going to put the title on Lana. I think it would be a really bad idea because that match was definitely the worst match on the pay per
It wouldn't
view.
make me watch.
She wasn't as bad as I thought she'd be though.
No,
to be
she
fair.
wasn't. She wasn't, and her facial expressions are really good.
She wasn't like Eva Marie bad.
No.
No, but she's always been good on the mic.
Yeah, and so you got that kind of translate you would have thought into good facial expressions.
She's got her character down and everything like that, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Although it's changed.
But in ring, I didn't think the 2 of them even meshed very well because Naomi's not. I mean, she's no Charlotte Flair or even Becky Lynch, is she? But she's fairly
She's a good
adequate.
hand.
She's a good hand, but I thought the 2 of them just did not kind of click together. So I'm not, a bit like Cybil, I'm not excited about seeing this match again on Tuesday.
I'm just
No.
hoping she doesn't win, that's all.
I think I've got this funny feeling they might do it.
Unless you get the cash in.
Unless you get the cash in.
What happened if, on Money in the Bank, as it was teased, Carmella did cash in?
Yeah.
What would they have done then?
Well, that's a really good
But
question.
then they had instead of a Money in the Bank, they just had a ladder match with everyone for the title.
My question as well is, because you're right, you could have done that, couldn't you? Because you could have cashed in that. Like, she came out. She came out and
She
just
teased it,
teased it, didn't she, on Money in the Bank? Why was Daniel? I know Daniel Bryan wasn't at the pay-per-view, but why was Shane not at the pay-per-view to kind of sort this out early doors?
Lazy.
Just
No.
wasn't there at all, and
At a prior engagement.
we had to wait until Tuesday to get a resolution on this women's Money in the Bank thing. So if she had cashed in before that time, what would have happened then? We would have been, as Toby said, right up in the air with everything.
They would have just done. The title match as a ladder match, wouldn't they?
Oh,
and everyone would
mess.
have been in it.
What an absolute mess.
And that's the only thing I can imagine they do. But you know.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens. I just don't. If it's Carmella that keeps it, which is the right choice, but it kind of I don't see why they would then do it
Do it
twice. You know what I
apart
mean?
from-
What the whole point of it was.
Because nobody's supposed to know no one knows who wins. It's all chance and not on the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but well, you say that. Apparently, one of the interviews I had with a former writer about a month ago did say that with regards to Money in the Bank, it literally changes on the day. Vince will go, we'll go down the line and say, well, take a vote, we'll go with Baron Corbin, we'll go with Baron Corbin.
But he was dead set, wasn't he?
And then on the day they go, I'll go with something Zayn. Because they feel the Money in the Bank is something they can be flexible with. They've got that kind of ability to go, well, we can do this, we can do that with it.
Worst case scenario, you can just trade it like they did with Kennedy and Edge.
There's always ways, isn't there?
But I think when we look at it, like these were dead set. We knew that Corbin and Carmella were walking out midweek with those briefcases. Well, that's what all the money was on, right? If you looked at all the betting sites, they were by far the favourites.
But when they came out in their outfits, it was a no-brainer.
When Carmella came out, hers especially,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, she's winning this.
I was a bit surprised that they left. I understand why now, but I was sat there going, why are they leaving Corbin till last? If Corbin is supposed to be winning it, because you don't leave the person to win to come out last.
No.
You want them out early, and I thought you got to have a big name last, like Shinsuke or AJ. I thought would have been last, and it's because of the attack I get now. But like, it just made no sense.
So Chris in the chat room's made a comment. Is SmackDown basically repeating Money in the Bank? Pretty much. To answer the question, yes, it is. So the full card has been announced for this week's coming SmackDown. Right, we've got the Women's Money in the Bank, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
As mentioned, we've got Lana versus
Naomi
Naomi for the title. You've also got Baron Corbin taking on Sami Zayn. So those two did face each other in the Money in the Bank match at the pay-per-view.
Why not Nakamura? Oh, no,
Yeah, and then you. I don't know why that match. Why Zayn's wrestling him. That
because they're obviously saving Nakamura Corbin, aren't they?
makes sense. And you're also getting a SmackDown.
At least they're saving something. Because
Yeah,
at the moment they're giving everything away.
This is true.
Exactly.
You are going to get to see the Usos not get a number one contenders shot, but they get a match to see if they can become number one contenders again.
Usos are.
Sorry, the Hype Bros. The Hype Bros will go in a tag match against the current champions, the Usos. If they beat the champions, they get a title shot.
Where's the New Day? The New Day won.
I don't know.
New Day won at the pay-per-view. But surely that gives them a title rematch. Like,
You would have thought so.
Where's
You
this rule book? I want to see the rule book.
There is a rule book. You can buy it. So if anyone wants to buy it
Yeah,
for
but
us,
it still
send it
says-
to us. That'd be great.
it still says like the 30-day rule, and that went out the window a long time ago.
This is true. Look at Brock Lesnar.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Getting back to the women's side of it as well. Staying on SmackDown just very briefly. Maria Kanellis.
Mm.
She's now in the mix with regards to SmackDown, or potentially in the mix with
I
regards
don't
to
think
SmackDown.
she's going to be brought in as a worker.
Think more of valet.
I think she's valet. Yeah, I think Mike's going to be the worker.
Mike Kanellis.
Kanellis. I don't know if I like or hate that.
That's a very empowering thing for a woman to take the man to take her name, isn't it? Really, kind of like it's
He always said it with gritted teeth as well. I'm Mike Kanellis. Like,
not Bennett. Don't
It
call me Bennett.
it makes sense though, because obviously people know Maria Kanellis from before, although she was never really called Kanellis, it was just Maria. So it's not like that name means a lot, because she was never called really Maria Kanellis, was she? She was always referred to as Maria.
Yeah.
But you've got to differentiate them from the Miz and Maurice, so that by giving them the surname, it does the two.
Yeah.
They could go
That's
against
true
each other.
because
See,
Miz and
top
Maurice
couple.
don't have a last name, do they? They just Miz and
Well, they
Maurice.
do. They
Yeah,
do
they do.
have.
In
They've
real
got
life,
one,
yes.
but they don't
Xana.
use it.
Yeah, but not in WWE world. They don't. They're like Big E. They're just or even
Well, no, his is
Cesaro,
Langston.
or Cesaro.
He was.
His last name Cesaro.
Yeah,
isn't
because
it?
it was Antonio,
That's
wasn't it?
So it is neat.
See, they all have names. They just want us to forget them.
This one there.
Tack said, sorry, why don't Hype Bros get an automatic title match for the Battle Royale we won?
Good question.
Oh yeah.
Punkastori says Hype's won a number one contender match when Ryder won the Battle Royale and got injured.
When his knee went out. Of
It's
course.
all gone to pot.
There's a statute limitation on number one contendership matches. I'm sure if you check that rule book again, it's probably 30 days as well. And Ryder's been out longer than 30 days.
Yeah. They couldn't hold the titles off that long, could they?
Exactly.
Someone had to
so
Didn't they redo it? Didn't they have like a?
I forget how they did. They
have like a number one contendership match the next week for new number one
Did.
contenders?
I forget how they did it. It blurs, to be honest, how they actually did. But
Isn't that what the Usos won?
how long have the Usos have been champion?
They were before WrestleMania.
They before WrestleMania.
Because American Alpha were.
Let's talk about the Usos for a second.
Oh, go on
Because
then.
I've been meaning to bring it up for weeks. Day one-ish.
It's day 1H.
Day one
Day
is
one
H.
is H.
What does it mean?
What? Come on, help me out.
Down since day one.
Ish. Maybe, not quite sure. Maybe
Yeah, that-
day
It's
two.
the ish. I get the down. I get the day one thing. I do get that, but it's the ish bit I don't get. And I'm glad you brought this up.
Maybe
Because
it's
I'm hoping
day
someone
one,
in the
maybe
chat
it's
room
day
knows.
two.
We've
not
had this
really sure.
conversation.
Have we? I haven't had this
We have, me
conversation.
and Dan.
I don't know what it means.
See, I think it's a swear word.
Is
That's
it?
what they say instead.
What is this word?
Well, I'm not going to say on air, am I? I'm not falling for that trick. Nice try.
Can you write it down?
Nice try.
Write it down.
Day one is SH something else.
Yeah, but it's not is. There's no is.
Day one, so it'd be day one.
Yeah.
Day one I SH.
No, there's no
sense.
I. There's no I. I don't know why you're putting an I there. That's the wrong place for the
Write
I.
down what
Well,
it
he's
is
just
then.
spelt it basically.
I don't get it. So if you know, please tell us at TWS.
Anyway, let's go off then because we're supposed to be talking about the women, right?
Yeah, but you know,
Rabbit
I've been
warren.
meaning
We
to
got-
talk
we
about it
got-
for ages, and then
yeah.
I'm sat in front watching it. I'm going, oh, I didn't ask.
We'll write it into
Do you-
Network and Chill, and we'll talk about it
We
later.
just talked about it.
Do you know actually what they could do with the Usos? I'm going to drag it back to the women here a little bit.
Anyway.
Put Tamina back with them.
Yeah?
Tamina, they're doing nothing with Tamina, and she debuted with them
No,
originally.
you don't really want to put them.
We don't
no,
really
because
want to
then-
see a wrestle.
Well, then have her as a manager then. Have her like a.
See you wrestle Tamina.
Yeah.
She's a good hand. Tamina's good.
I don't know about
I like Tamina.
that.
Good.
She's for someone who's been
Got
around.
no character.
For someone who's been around as long as she has, she just seems
She's just power.
very green in the ring still.
Just power. That's all she's got.
No,
But no, because enough with the ballets. They've got 7 people who can work, and that is not enough to run a decent women's division. Don't put anyone else with other people, because we're just going to have the same match like when Sasha and Charlotte had 25 million matches together because there's no one else. Although they were very entertaining matches, you know, we can't do that.
We burned through them very quickly.
Exactly.
Didn't we? Yes, I know what you mean. Yes.
But so we talked in length about SmackDown there. Let's go over to Raw a little bit. Shall we have a little chat about the Raw division and what's happening over there? Because there's a lot going on. People disappearing, people with weird storylines. I don't even know what the big feud is.
Well, yes, we've had a question about that as well, haven't we, Cybil?
Yes, we have, from Lawrence Hull. Did you happen to catch on the news of the new storyline for Bayley? Is it true? If this is true, surely she must need to change something to get the fans behind her. The average WWE fan will not connect with this storyline, in my opinion.
So, Lawrence Hull was alluding to this bit of news.
Which come from Lawrence Hull and Andy Keenan. We do not forget people who give us these
The name
information.
check, yeah.
The rumours are going around that WWE are planning a romantic angle for Bayley around SummerSlam. Something that focuses on her innocence. Along the lines of never been kissed. There's even been speculation that love interest may be Corey Graves.
I hate this.
Where's the payoff?
Handsome love interest, though.
What's your payoff?
Oh, he's a good-looking
Might
guy.
that be my storyline?
Really?
He's a good-looking guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was that way inclined, yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of a...
Man
It
crush.
That
looks
was
like
very
he's a bit
definitely
sick.
there, Dan.
You know,
What?
he looks a bit sick to me.
No, he's
Corey Graves.
cute.
Can we grab that?
So, one, what's the payoff with your commentator being the love interest?
It didn't.
Where's that?
I suppose you got a similar thing like you had with. Do you remember back in the day, Daniel Bryan and Gail Kim, and the Bellas trying to.
Yes.
And he was like a vegan and a virgin. That's what they were kind
This
of
is
pushing.
when this is when him and Brie got together, wasn't it?
It was. I believe that's when they started dating
Yeah.
or something. So
Because when the thing was, both Bellas wanted him.
they wanted to take his big V.
That means
No, not that thing. That was that was his thing. They kept saying he's virgin, and then they caught him and Gail Kim snogging passionately. Lucky guy. To be fair.
I don't get the Gail Kim thing. We've obviously got different tastes of men and women now. So let's talk about it, right? So, bit of a weird thing because Bayley's fallen off the.
Bayley
She's had a few matches and now she's just gone off the radar.
So
Well, Chris Twigg says, I really hope that they don't pull through with this. I mean, doesn't everyone know that Bayley's engaged?
is she?
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
Oh, there you go. Who to, Chris? Tell us.
Gotta be a wrestler. They're all
no.
wrestlers.
Who?
I think I want to throw this out there and see what everyone else thinks. I believe that since Bayley's come up to the main roster, they have not known how to book her, and they booked her well in NXT. And
So
put
it's
my hands
the
up.
woman who successfully defended her title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I'm not a Bayley fan, as everyone knows that. But I think they booked her better in NXT than they did in the main roster. Yes, she defended the title at WrestleMania, but they could have her winning that title at WrestleMania.
And she beat Charlotte's streak.
Yeah, and that meant nothing. There was no kind of big fanfare for that or anything.
These things don't mean anything. You know, John Cena beat Flair's record.
I agree.
No one cared, right? These things happen.
I just think there's something. The Bayley character is not clicking on the main roster, and I'm not necessarily sure whether it's down to her or the way they're booking her or a bit of both.
I think it's all right. I don't think you don't get the same time and space as you do in NXT, right? I think you'll struggle to find anyone that's come up from NXT who's been stronger since they came up than what their character was in NXT. I think you've got. I think.
Oh, hang on, okay. Joe. Samoa Joe's been booked brilliantly since he's come up.
No, yeah, but what's his character, right? His character was much better, had more time, had more focus in NXT than now. Now he's just a tough nut, right?
I would argue that was his...
I'm not saying that he's not been booked well. He's been booked well on both counts. But you want to say Joe? He debuted at the start of the year, whenever that was. He wasn't even on WrestleMania.
No, he wasn't.
Didn't even show his face at WrestleMania. So you can't say he's had better booking when he debuted and didn't even get put on the main show. So
No, okay, I get that. No, I get that.
I think you look at characters. Bray Wyatt's character was stronger in NXT before it came up. Then they started doing wacky things with it. You know, I think.
So is it down to oversaturation then?
Even look at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's a classic example. That underdog
Yeah, I do
in
agree. Yeah, that's a
NXT,
good
and
one.
now he doesn't do anything.
But is it down to oversaturation? Because on NXT you don't necessarily see them every week. You see, you know, for sake of argument, you have some weeks where you don't see the women's champion for a good couple of weeks, and then they come back or whatever.
So this week, let's say, let's talk about Bobby Roode.
yes,
This week, how much did we see on NXT? We saw a backstage segment lasting about 8 seconds,
exactly.
right? And that was enough.
Yeah.
That's pushed the storyline. It's sold it. We don't need anything, you know.
So, and then if you look at and conversely,
Well, it's 1 hour, right? It's not 3 or whatever.
but you also look at the women on NXT. You didn't see Asuka at all this week.
You saw the flashback,
You
didn't
saw the flashback, but you didn't actually see her as in anything fresh. from
No,
her.
we had Peyton Royce.
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon.
Moon's return.
It was a very, very strong episode.
Very strong episode
Very
of NXT
strong.
actually all round. But
Great
no,
main event as well. We got the main event.
it was your guy against my guy,
We always knew he was going to win.
and my guy won.
And I just kept watching anything in you going, my guy's got a bloody t-shirt on.
You know what? We are again down another tangent, another rabbit hole. NXT this week because I watched it with Cybil as well. We watched the Cassius Ohno main event against
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black, and I didn't say anything.
They
Not
both
a
were very
word.
poor finishes though. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't say a word. But first thing Cybil said was, "Look at that! Look at Cassius Ohno's leg and gut." Because it was he looked just
I think he's going to be a trainer.
out of shape.
I think he's going to be a trainer. Isn't he with is he the one who's with Sarah or whatever, or is that Cesaro?
He is with someone. Off the life, I forget who he's dating.
The female head trainer.
Oh no, I don't think he's with that. I think he's with someone else in NXT. Oh, we go.
It's
fact check.
Cesaro, the one who's with one of them. I thought was because they were in the Kings of Wrestling together, weren't they? All 3 of them.
Yes.
And I thought she was with one of them.
But it's striking. You look at the difference between
Cesaro,
Cassius Ohno and Cesaro. They were forming a great tag team in Ring of Honor together.
Yeah.
And look at the body difference in the two of them. It's just crazy.
Anywho, you can't think of anyone in NXT who's stronger since they came up. Anyway, let's go back to the women.
But my point is, I think Bayley's been oversaturated, and I think there is.
Yeah, there's an element of that.
With one of the issues with the brand split now, when you've got Raw and you've got SmackDown, is that you have to see matches quicker, and you have to have more people on TV because they've got less guys to kind of throw into the mix. Especially if you've got a 3-hour Raw to fill.
You say that, all right? But we're talking about Bayley falling down the ladder. Like, if you want to look at Raw and who's falling down the ladder, you look at Sasha Banks. Right? She was in a mixed tag match on 205 Live or whatever it was. That was the pay-per-view, wasn't it? But she
Pay-per-view,
was on
yeah.
205 Live. What's happened there? She's feuding with Alicia Fox and Noam Dar.
Well, I think at one point wasn't the plan at one point to do a
Rich swap.
to turn Sasha and have her go against Bayley for SummerSlam for the title. But I get the impression now you're looking at more Alexa Sasha for the title.
I want Nia in it.
Oh, Nia's in the mix. as well.
Nia's in the mix. I thought Nia was going to be the one because Alexa's trying to keep Nia on the good
Well, at the moment,
side.
you've got all the women involved. Emma got involved this week. Dara. Who's Dara?
Dana.
Mickey and Dana got involved. And then Bayley came back.
Dana, look what happened to her since the split with Charlotte. What's she doing? They've got these people, they just don't use them. And on Raw, it's a classic case. They've always done that. Because when you look at last year, when it was Sasha Charlotte, no one else got looking.
Okay, well, that links in
But
quite...
that's probably where Bayley's problem was. She came up when that feud was happening.
So that links in quite nicely to our poll, right? Let's go around the team here and kind of see which brand we think books the women better. Is it Raw? Is it SmackDown? We have thrown in NXT as well. We've also thrown in a couple of wild cards of Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling.
So, I don't know much about the Ring of Honor, but it's Women of Honor. And they've got their
Ring
own
of
show and everything, haven't they?
It's a very much. It's not every week their show.
Yeah.
It's kind of something they're slowly building.
Should we mention in this? Should we mention about Glow?
I haven't had a chance to see it
Now
yet.
on Netflix.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I don't have Netflix.
You haven't got Netflix.
But there's women's wrestling on Netflix.
Yes, and Awesome Kong's in it.
Did you?
Yeah, she's part of it. So I am generally curious to go. I must admit, I've not had a chance to sit and watch it. I want to try and find a way of watching it. I haven't got Netflix currently, but it is supposed to be. It's getting very good reviews.
Yeah.
So I am curious, and if you have seen it, please let us know at TWS Radio.
So I think
We just have some feedback from the chat room.
Go on.
Tack said, can't they just ask Triple H how he got Bayley over? Which is a jolly good question.
Well, yeah.
by not burying her like everyone else.
Yeah, and again,
That's
I think it's the lack of saturation. You know, she wasn't
Lack
on
of
t-
saturation.
lack of saturation or less saturation.
Chris Twigg said, I
Oh,
think
sorry.
Bayley should have stayed off TV for longer and worked her way back up, beating Jax, Dana, etc. That way she could rebuild her connection with the fans. Punkasaurus says, just put Bayley in a 6-man tag and work with cruisers. Get her away from the division for a while.
Ooh,
Well, I think,
harsh.
yeah.
Punkasaurus went quite extreme. He said Bayley with the Hardys could see her toughen up, go extreme, dye her hair red and lead to a feud with Lita. And Tack
God.
said no one needs to see extreme Bayley.
No, that's the other thing. Going back to the Bayley side of it, they pushed the Extreme Rules pay-per-view that she was going to go extreme with the kendo stick and get her title back, and she lost the match. She didn't really get involved with that kendo stick at all.
But I think that's good for her character. I like it.
I get, but then don't book her in that kind of situation. 'Cause I just don't see how. It
When
makes
they're
it
in
look
a
stupid.
corner.
Yeah, it makes it look stupid.
No, I think if anything, I think it was good booking that way because it made her innocence and the fact that she doesn't like to go to that place. It kind of highlighted that, and it kind of built on the character.
But she still lost.
Yeah, and that's exactly why, right? Because she didn't go there. If she went there, then the whole Bailey character's gone.
I don't like
She
it.
kept the character.
Scott 220 said, I saw the first episode of Glow today. It was fun. I'll watch more.
Good.
Okay.
So we talked about Raw and that. What about NXT? Right, let's touch on NXT.
We covered Raw. We covered SmackDown. NXT.
NXT is the next one. The NXT division, which really has one person in it at the minute, if you want to look on paper, and that is the undefeated streak of Asuka.
Chris Twig says, how do we feel about the last woman's standing match against Asuka and Cross in a couple of weeks' time?
It's a huge match.
It's this week.
And they've quickly gone away from Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, haven't they?
Yeah, they're pushing this kind of match between Asuka and Nikki Cross as almost this kind of like this big kind of blow off to a feud.
Which it wasn't a feud.
It's been pre-recorded as well, and I generally don't know. I don't want to be told, but
It's got to be Asuka, isn't it?
But I haven't seen this. Well, we all know up on the spoilers. I haven't
seen this one.
So I generally don't know. I don't believe it's been recorded. It has been recorded yet, so it must be out there somewhere. My gut feeling is we would have heard if she had lost the title, because these kind of things just kind of permeate through the web, don't they?
I don't think Nikki Cross is the person that you drop. You do that undefeated streak. You don't give it to Nikki Cross.
I would say Emma
I would
Moon.
like to see Nikki Cross with it.
Yeah?
But
At
not
some
yet.
point.
I think this match is
Emma
not-
Moon seems to be the one they like, but I,
I
want
think
to see
she could
something
tip
special.
it off Emma Moon.
I want something special. I don't want Emma Moon. I want something different. I want something, bringing back someone to do it, or someone dropping down to do it. Bailey would be a great example. You bring Bailey back to do it, although we've seen that match a few times.
We have.
That's going to give you that kind of, that's going to do wonders for both. And if she loses to Bailey, it's not a problem.
You could actually throw it out that Bailey kind of comes back down again almost to rebuild herself, and part of that is Asuka beat me.
I've not been the same since.
I've not been the same since. I need now to beat her for the title, and then you could have Bailey beat her, and then you could have Bailey go down. I'm on the main roster. I can't cover this as well, so vacate the title, and you could do some kind of tournament then if you want. But you've got the Mae Young tournament coming up.
So that's going to be a huge window for this as well. And how many of those women in that tournament are going to be part of NXT? Because NXT are rebuilding that women's division that for so long looked so weak after the likes of Bailey and Sasha and Charlotte and Becky and everyone moving up the roster. But now they've got
pillaged, didn't it, basically?
Yeah. Now they've got obviously Asuka. They've got Nikki Cross. They've got Ruby Riott.
Ember
Moon. They've got Iconic, who I think are fantastic and they need to be doing more with. Although Billie Kay seems to not want to wrestle ever.
I think she's injured.
I think she is because it's always Peyton Royce. But anyway.
And do you know what? I think Peyton Royce is the better worker. I think Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
I thought that match with her and Ember Moon this week on NXT was excellent.
I think they're both very good. I like
Scott
both.
220 said Peyton Royce is really good. Give her the win against Asuka. She's not that good.
I don't know, but you could do it because you could have Billie
Interference.
Kay interfere, and then it doesn't take the whole shine.
The problem is you've done this already. I think the problem is with Asuka, she's had it so long, she's burned through all of these guys on several occasions. That now whoever I think they could have.
They even brought back Mickey, didn't they?
That's my point.
So,
They could have pulled the trigger and given it to Ember Moon a couple of months ago, and I think then it would have made sense. Now Asuka's beaten Ember Moon.
yeah.
And so it's kind of like, well, what if she did it the first time? Why am I going to didn't do it the first time? Why am I going to believe that on the second time she's going to beat her? It's just
It's like Rocky, you go where you train.
okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But I mean, what I think the worst booking they did was on Takeover when she pinned both Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott.
Yeah,
It just made the division look so bad that she just pins everyone at once. But
I'll tell you who did look good. And on a side note, but speaking of that kind of, is that Sonia? I think they're calling her.
changed her name now, hasn't she?
Yeah, it was Dari. Now it's Sonia Deville. I think they pronounce that.
The MMA one.
Yes. Though I didn't like the kind of. I think she needs to be more stoic.
What was that?
There's too much more kind of punching in the air.
What was that thing? Put your hair up and
Oh, hair up and is it chin up and hair up, or is it?
hair up and put up.
Fight or something.
Yeah, put hair up and it's up and up, isn't it? So it's hair up.
And
shut
turn
up.
up.
Yeah, something. Isn't it?
We'll get
And I sort of thought, what?
I like it. I think it's good. I think she's got a great look. She looks scary.
Well, I kept having a look then. She was literally the only person with her hair up. You look at every other woman in NXT, they all have hair down. And I was like,
I was gonna say,
is this her gimmick? Is
I
it
was gonna say
ponytail?
hair up and knock up. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
No,
it means something else.
no. So,
Speaking of the Mae Young Classic,
yes.
we've actually got some news on some new people who have been added to the Mae Young Classic.
We do. There are 5 more names for the WWE Mae Young Classic, and they have been announced. They are Tessa Blanchard,
Currently in NXT.
Abby Lath,
Don't know her.
Tainara Conti.
Well done.
Tainara, probably.
So okay. Oh god. Kavita Devi.
Who's I think is trained by the Great Khali.
Oh god.
Yes.
Who's let him train?
I don't know.
I was watching about the greatest world heavyweight champions the other day, and they showed his picture. I went, "Why would you do this?"
Why would you remind
Terrible.
me? Why would you remind me of this?
And finally, the last name, friend of the show, alpha female.
Really, really, really congratulations out to Jazzy. We've had her on the show numerous times. Really, really happy about this one. Congratulations to her.
We got a friend of the show in the tournament.
All I'm saying is, Toby, we've already teased it in the last couple of weeks. We said there was a friend of the show in the tournament. Yes, Jazzy is a friend of the show, but it's not who we were talking about.
What? Hey, wouldn't it be great if, like, in the first round we had like 2 friends of the show facing off?
I don't know because one
No, 'cause we want
in the
them to
final.
see
In the
it,
final.
The final.
Could you imagine that? That'd be awesome. So there was 32 women going to be announced in this, so there's going to be a couple of alternates, because there always are as well.
And what I like about this is once we see the whole
Tax said who decided alpha female should be called Jazzy. Like,
Is that real name? Is that her name?
yeah, here we are. Look.
If you go to her Facebook page,
Friend of the show.
if you go to her Facebook page, she actually is Jazzy Alpha Female. I forget what her last name begins with G. Just look for it on Facebook, Jazzy Alpha Female, and you'll
You're
find
breaking that 4th wall there.
it. No. I would. She actually. This is a bit of a side story. She actually came to us for interviews because we didn't use her real name, because she was getting a lot of people adding her on Facebook under her real name. But then she's gone. Do you know what? I can't bother anymore. Yes, I'm Jazzy. So she actually don't goes by her real name as well as Alpha Female.
So, what I like about this, when we get the full list of the Mae Young Classic, is that there's no one in there that's jumping out like they're going to win.
Not yet.
There's no big name. Like, probably we will see some big names go in, but if you look at the Cruiserweight tournament, they didn't win.
No.
Tajiri and Brian Kendrick, and there was another one that I can't remember who was.
Well, you had Zack Sabre Jr. in it, and
Yeah,
you had Ibushi. Ibushi was in there as well.
Yeah, but there was someone else who was in there from the. But Ibushi we all thought was going to win.
Yes.
We had another sort of legend, if you would, wouldn't there? I can't remember who it was. I'm sure there was.
The guy
What
What
guy?
the guy?
What the
Yeah.
guy?
with the spit.
Tajiri.
Tajiri.
Oh yeah, did you say him?
Yeah, we did say Tajiri. Yes.
Tajiri and Kendrick. I'm sure there's 3. Anyway. Anywho, let's not digress on the women. Right, so we've talked NXT a little bit there. Let's go to the challenging run that we all want to talk about, Impact Wrestling. Now, when you look at that, because we've got the rosters in front of us, when you look at that roster, it's actually quite a deep roster.
To be honest, if you look at it, it's actually got it's got the biggest roster.
Now we're saying that obviously SmackDown and Raw are separate rosters, so it is
However,
interesting.
since the rebranding of Impact and since Anthem's come in, they have given their roster a bit of a shake-up, and they brought some new names in there. Some of these names, because you were paged down this list, Toby, you went, I don't know who that is.
Yep.
And some of them have just been used as developmental talent, or kind of what I would class as jobber matches.
And the first 3 are down as valets.
Yes,
So-
even though Ali is wrestling now.
Angelina Love.
Angela Love is.
She's like held the title more than anyone
Well,
else.
actually, let's call a spade here. Next week, we're going to be previewing. You got Angelina Love and Davey
It's
Richards.
the mixed tag, isn't it?
Mixed tag against Alicia Edwards and Eddie Edwards in
Full Metal Mayhem.
Full
isn't it?
Metal Mayhem.
What? How's that like?
That is
That's
gonna be,
crazy.
They have done a Full Metal Mayhem with women before, but no, I think these
Mixed tag.
it's going to be crazy. I'm really looking forward. That's probably the match I'm looking forward most to.
If anything else, it's intriguing me.
Yes.
Right.
Very much so.
But I mean, they've got a big roster, but some of them, I mean, you look at them, some of them aren't that sort of well known or that sort of experienced. You can say.
If you
Some of
look-
them, like Brandy Rhodes, for instance, very green.
If you look at the name of some of these people on there, probably the biggest names, so to speak, that are probably known is probably Angelina Love or maybe ODB.
ODB.
Madison Rain.
She's more of a commentator now. She doesn't really.
She's
But if you said to a common fan, who do you think would be more well known, ODB or Madison Rain? I would think ODB.
I think ODB on this list is 100%. And don't forget, Zack Ryder's girlfriend's on there, which you didn't know about.
No, go on. Tell me the story because I didn't realise this.
Laurel Van Ness. She's the crazy one in the wedding dress, isn't she? Laurel Van Ness.
Yes, she is. Isn't
She is, according to his Instagram, they are an item, which I didn't know till they only a few months ago. I thought you were still with Emma.
So I thought it was as well.
Laurel Van Ness. He's been introducing her to Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park and all sorts of stuff.
I think she's quite a talented worker. I'm not too sure about this gimmick they've lumbered her with, this kind of wedding dress thing. I think it's very hard to suspend disbelief that she's still wearing the same wedding dress.
It also just makes me think that Zack Ryder's going to Impact Wrestling at some point. A little bit more, right? Because he's that kind of guy, isn't he? He's on that verge.
But at the moment we've currently got an Impact. We've got 2 women's champions.
Yes, because a lot of these names, or a handful of them at least, came from the GFW takeover.
Yeah, so some of these names did come in from GFW. So you had names like
Former champion Christina Von Eerie.
Von Eerie, yes, she was the champion. She dropped it to Sienna, who is now the current Global Force champion. As we know, friend of this show, Rosemary, is the current Impact or Impact Knockouts champion.
Mm-hmm. She don't know anything about pizza though.
She doesn't know about pizza apparently. But she will be going. They'll be doing a unification match next week at Slammiversary between the two.
Not surprised.
So it makes sense. But
they're all basically getting unified at Slammiversary by the look of it.
The reason we brought up Impact's roster, because traditionally back in the day, Impact were the ones who almost started this women's revolution. They were the ones who pushed women's matches, or knockouts as they call them.
Yep.
We had some cracking matches back today, awesome Con, Gail, Kim. Everyone goes back and talks about them. We also had some other great matches. There was a great ladder match between where
Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim.
Taryn
Terrell did some cracking matches. Last woman standing as well.
You had Tara involved in the mix. They had the cracking cage match between her and Mickey James.
You had all of the beautiful people, and they could all work. Madison Rain, Velvet Sky, and Angelina Love.
Hang on, there was another Velvet person.
What you were talking? Are you trying to say?
I can't think of her name either.
Because she's the one with the stick, the ugly stick.
Yes, she had the ugly stick.
Yeah, she was someone's daughter.
Oh, now it completely escaped me.
It was the guys with the Von Erich.
Von Erich, she was Von Erich, that's it.
Yeah, Lacey Von Erich.
She was the Wrestlelicious baby as well.
She had the ugly stick, I think it was.
That was the one.
It was like a pink nightstick.
But
that was terrible. And she did the claw as well. Oh, don't do the claw.
But they've now got a fresh mix of women. I think Rosemary's really good. I think as we know, we beat that drum to death of Rosemary. I think they've got. But I also think Sienna's quite strong. I think she's greatly underrated.
I think they're missing. Their loss was Maria when she went. I think she held that division together quite a lot.
From a character point of view.
From a character point, yeah, not in ring because Maria in ring is basically Brandy Rhodes in ring.
Yes, basically, yeah.
But character-wise, she kind of ran that division and kind of held it together. And now they're going off this other way. I think we're going to get more wrestling, aren't we, from it, by the look of it, especially with Rosemary and Sienna.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I think this match at Slammiversary will be quite a good match, actually. But yeah, going forward, I think what they now need to do is maybe develop some more women and give them something a bit more to kind of work with within the division, because otherwise you've got the same 2 people going backwards and forwards. And you've kind of seen, I think Ali potentially could be a very strong female champion in the future.
They really dropped the ball with Ali, didn't they?
Oh, I don't agree.
That Maria Ali thing was written in the stars, and they just threw it away. Didn't Ali win the knockout title? Didn't she?
Did. I'm gonna get this wrong now. Yeah, she did win it, and then
she pinned.
She pinned Maria, I want to say.
No,
she pinned someone else.
Because she gave it to Maria.
That's right. Who did she pin? It wasn't Gail.
Was it Sienna?
No, it was Jade. Who's no longer with the company, which I think is a shame. Also, Marty Bell's gone as well.
They're 2 names that could be in the Mae Young Classic, possibly.
Jade, I would say absolutely. I think she's a really good worker. Marty Bell, no.
Is Gail Kim still?
Gail Kim is still with the company.
She's currently
out. She's currently out, I believe, injured. I believe.
Not on your list.
No, not that. But she is still with the company. I'll tell you why she's still with the company, because she's in all their graphics and everything still. So, but I believe she's out injured. The other one I mentioned was Ring of Honor, which was your other option on the poll when kind of voting in it. Now,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know any of them.
To be fair, that wouldn't be surprising, because they only have they rarely get shown on Ring of Honor, because they only have what we got there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women, 7 if you count the host.
Who is it? Taylor Hendricks was in it for a while. I don't know where she's gone.
She's in Lucha Underground.
Is she?
She is, because her boyfriend is John Morrison.
No.
Yeah, a real boyfriend, John Morrison.
I like Taylor Hendricks.
And she works a lot in Lucha Underground.
I like Taylor Hendricks.
She's
good.
wrestles the guy. So, guys,
Is she?
yes.
Really?
Mm.
How long's she been in there then?
She's been in, I don't watch Lucha Underground kind of religiously, but she's been in there for as long as I've watched, at least since season 2, I think.
She's only just left Ring of Honor.
She might have been in both of them, but she's
I suppose
definitely
you can't you?
she's definitely in Lucha Underground. So, let's go around the
So
table.
we can't talk too much about that.
No, we won't go into. But if you had to say, Cybil, from a female perspective, rosters, which roster do you think books women better? We're including SmackDown and Raw as separate rosters. So SmackDown, Raw, NXT, Impact, or even Ring of Honor if you want to throw Ring of Honor in there.
Probably NXT.
Okay.
Because they've got Asuka and Storm are really good at the moment. They're bringing a lot of people up
Who's
and
Storm?
giving a lot of people.
Nikki Storm.
Nikki Storm.
Nikki Cross.
Cross.
Where'd the Glenn Cross go?
Was it Glenn Cross?
She was Nikki Glenn Cross.
She was Nikki Glenn Cross at one point. Yes.
They dropped that quite quickly,
Yeah.
haven't they?
When she first debuted.
Yeah.
Before
Before
she-
Sanity.
Before Sanity.
Alright.
But we
Which
know her
was
as we know her as Nikki
But
Storm.
they kind of seem to be split up. They're all doing different things now.
Yeah, and they put Eric Young into the tag team,
Big
don't they?
demo on there.
Yeah.
Killing Dane.
He's got his own entrance music now.
Just cool as well. I love it.
Yeah, indeed. So you go NXT. I suppose actually that's a hard one not to argue when you think how long they've made Asuka champion for.
If you look historically as well, you look at they were the first ones to put a women's match on the main event when they did Bailey and Sasha. You had the four horsewomen really brought that up.
Yeah.
If you look historically, NXT have to
Have
have
they
it.
got Paige as well?
If you look at it now,
when they were bringing the four horsewomen, even though they're not that, up to the main roster, we were all really excited to see where they were going to go.
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
true. Yeah, it was emotional as well, wasn't it? It was a big thing for those guys to go up.
But if you look historically, then you've got to go NXT. But if you look at right now, I don't think it is NXT because I think they're poorly booking their women at the minute. If you currently, apart from Asuka, everyone else gets buried by Asuka.
Yeah, that is the problem. Yeah.
Especially in the triple threat match. But historically, you got to go NXT. But I don't know where you go now. I think it's tough because I think you go SmackDown. As much as that Money in the Bank finish was a little bit sour, I think that any of them could do anything. Whereas it's only one or two on Raw.
I agree. I'd like to give you a different opinion, but actually I can't. I do agree with what you're saying, though. I think Raw, the girls kind of, especially this week on Raw, they kind of all blended into one. None of them seem to mean anything important. I include Sasha in that, who always was
Yeah.
a name that seemed important. Bailey came back this week on Raw for the first time in weeks, and it was like, oh, she's been missing a couple of weeks. Oh, okay. It was no kind of big.
Yeah, Bailey's boring.
Well, there you go.
Boring Bailey.
There you go. So that's a great example of that.
Chris Twigg saying Asuka has currently been champion for 450 days.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
If you look at NXT, I agree with what Toby said. I think Asuka's been awesome, and what Chris kind of pointed out there. But she's run roughshod over everyone. That everyone else seems like jobbers in comparison.
Well, if you look at it, we were just talking about NXT a minute ago, and we couldn't think of who's going to beat her or who could even challenge her, and that's the problem.
Yes.
There is no one, and then no one's ready for Asuka, and that is true because there isn't.
Well, when
anyone
they
there.
brought in Mickey James, I did think, oh, she's going to lose it now.
No.
Even for a small moment, because
that
if they're
would've
going to
made
give it
sense.
to anyone, they would have given it to Mickey James.
You lost it to a future Hall of Famer, you know.
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely,
She's
yeah.
beating everyone else in the division, so we've got to bring someone in from outside.
Yeah, unless they drop someone down or it's nefarious means, I don't see how she's going to lose it.
Tack said SmackDown has a green as grass #1 contender. How can they be the best?
Yeah,
I don't
but
think you can base it on the number one contender, though, can you?
I think you could look at any division and say that, really. NXT.
There's always someone in each
Yeah.
division that's a bit weaker than someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we were saying that about Alexa Bliss when she came up. We were saying how green she was, and she's actually doing fantastic. You know, give them a chance, and they can run.
Scotty 220 said SmackDown edges it, but none of them are doing a great job.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I would have always made, in the past, lent towards Impact. I think Impact traditionally has protected their women quite well with regards to the booking, but because it is quite fresh faces in there, and it is quite, there's no real kind of overly compelling storylines, and I'm not enjoying this Laura Van Ness kind of being pity alley kind of thing. That doesn't interest me at all.
Do you know what I kind of base it on quite a bit in my head is how much they interlink it with the men's storylines.
Okay.
I think if they interlink quite heavily, it's quite a poor division. If they've got their own division, their own matches, their own storylines, you usually have something to build on. When you start mixing in these, and they do it on Impact, they used to have a really strong roster, and now they've started interlinking it all. Every
Well, you've
single
got this that
every single one
you've
has
got
the medal.
KM, you've got KM involved, and you've got that Congo Kong
Yeah.
involved. Yeah.
Every single one of their knockouts, I think, is interlinked with some sort of male storyline. And they don't really have anything that's their own. Whenever you look at NXT or you look at anything like this, they have their own storylines, they have their own matches, they have their own curve and reason for it. On NXT, you very rarely see them interlinked with other storylines because it's strong enough to do it by itself.
Mark Leo Quirk says, just let Asuka be the first undefeated NXT Women's Champion. She already is, but she can't be the champion forever, surely.
Unless she vacates.
Hang on. Paige was the first
Yeah,
ever
Paige.
undefeated NXT champion, and she vacated the title.
When she went out to the main roster, so that's technically what they could do the same with Asuka. Yeah.
Paige never lost. She won the tournament, won the title, won everything, and then vacated it when she won the Divas title. 'Cause apparently you can't have both.
Apparently not.
Chris Twig said, fun fact, Naomi is also the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion as of tomorrow. Today, she's tied with Bliss at 84 days.
Ah,
Sorry, Lynch's reign, not Bliss,
Okay.
as he says.
that makes sense.
Really? I thought Lynch had a bit longer.
Yeah. That's
Who
wrestling.
did she lose it to?
Alexa.
Was it Bliss?
It was Bliss, yeah.
They don't have many jams.
Because
did
he
they?
had that to and fro in about, ugliness and all that kind of stuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
The-
yeah.
Can't
They
be,
had the signing, didn't they? The
Yeah.
contract signing.
can't be a bit of straight fire.
Yeah.
But you can be a bit
you
straight.
apparently can.
Apparently, yeah.
Alexa can. Right, well, the conversation will continue with this at TWS Radio on social media. Please tell us who you think is the best women in the division currently, and also which brand is being booked best.
And for you listening right now on podcast, yes, I'm talking directly to you guys. Go to the Total Wrestling Show website and vote on that poll. It will be open all week. The family will give you the results next week on which brand books their women best: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, and Ring of Honor.
Bit interesting.
What is it at the minute, Dan?
Well, currently, it's interesting.
Is anyone 0?
0% Raw.
What?
Right.
Say what?
Joint 9% of the votes, Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
36% of the votes, SmackDown.
Okay.
45% of the votes, NXT.
Always tight.
It is tight. It's tight. So, interesting, no votes for Raw.
That's very interesting. I kind of expected none for Ring of Honor and Impact, to be honest, but
Right.
well, there you go.
We always finish the first thing off with a little bit of trivia. So we're going to take our first and only commercial break coming up. And in the break, you will get your news in briefs coming up for this week. Now, might need to apologise slightly for this.
We're going to say sorry because apparently I was very quiet.
So you might find Toby's a little bit quiet, but just bear with us.
If you really want to know it, I'll just say it again later, right? Just let me know.
Toby will give you his own mobile number and you can call him and he'll tell you it over the phone. No?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I might
okay.
give him your number instead.
Excellent. So, a bit of trivia to think about during the break, and please post in the chat room your answer to this. We'll see if my two co-hosts know the answer to this as well. We'll give you the answer after the break. So the question is, who hit their 1800 career finishing move at a WWE live event this week?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is this like the same finishing move?
Uh,
Or is it just a person has hit a finisher that many times? Not the same finisher.
this is the same finisher.
It is the same finisher.
Same finisher.
Because that narrows it down a lot.
Yeah. Who hit their 1800 career finishing move at a WWE live event this past week?
1,800.
No, it's good. I will tell you this much, right? To give you a bit of a clue. This person, this is not the same finishing move they used when they first debuted in WWE.
That could be anyone.
That could be
Yeah.
When we come back after the break, we're going to put our feet up, we're going to kick back. It's time for a bit of network and chill. Plus, we've still got some prizes to give away, so stay tuned with TWS. We ain't going nowhere. Wow, it was good. That was
We a lot of tangents.
yeah.
Martin Leo Quirk keeps asking if you can read his Facebook feedback. It's not on any of the
Don't know which one it is then.
Probably the one that says Martin Leopard.
No, that was called win. I'll have a look.
He says, read my feedback on Facebook. And he said it a couple of times. But it wasn't on here, because otherwise I would have interjected with it.
Got to be quick with your feedback, guys, for the printout.
Yeah, feedback goes really quick. Well, Facebook's a real jaunty angle, isn't it?
I love that word. I don't listen.
Here
Ah!
are the music briefs.
I can't get away from it.
The headlines you might have missed. Starting, there's a credit for Andy Keenan. Seth Rollins is on
Fine.
the cover
Yeah.
of WWE 2K
What happened?
video game. Speaking of
There is
Seth
some on,
Rollins,
I mean,
Reese to close a wound he suffered during a top rope dive.
There's loads we can't get. There's so much feedback on this. We can't actually get to all of them, unfortunately.
I was asking to piece it in here.
Yeah.
18,000 finish.
Recently it flew to London.
Then we're around.
Chatting to everyone on lunch.
I think that's pronounced correctly. With a custom WWE belt. He is the off-duty police officer who suffered an injury during the recent London Bridge terror attacks. The 25-year-old suffered stab wounds to his head, leg, back, and stomach while he ran towards a terrorist. At the time, he was wearing a Sami Zayn t-shirt. This is a surprise by Triple H. PC was transported to a secret London location in a limousine to meet the game. Deadline reports that Randy Orton will co-star in Changeland with Seth Green and Bret Hart. Tommaso Ciampa and Darren Young were both
Randy
spotted
Orton.
in Birmingham, Alabama, at the Andrew Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Centre, working towards their in-ring return over the last few days. It looks like the former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion and former Ring of Honor TV Champion Bobby Fish may make his WWE NXT debut at this week's tapings. He was at a live event. Jeff Jarrett is teasing a big name to appear at the July 2nd.
Oh no, I don't know.
You don't know the answer to the question. Do you know the answer to the question? That's what we're asking everyone on Facebook and on Periscope. See the hearts on Periscope, people. Helps get the word out.
You said he as well.
Did I say he though? Did I? I think I didn't.
Ah!
I think I didn't say he.
Because it's a woman.
I think I made it completely non-sexist, Toby. I get accused
Non-sexist.
of being sexist.
You're not accused. It's just pointed out.
Every time you say it, women's perspective, you're kind.
Yeah. You're kind.
You're kind with-
You're kind.
I don't see anything wrong
Oh
with
my
that.
god.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
You're kind. Is this what your kind's like? That's terrible. Terrible, Daniel. That's handy.
That sound. He's like a day old man. That sound.
Have we not covered everything?
I've lost where we are.
Huh?
Sorry?
We've basically covered most of it.
Yeah.
I've lost where we are.
We're on the network and chill.
For only $9.99.
9. Everything is thing you wanna see. Gotta get it on a TV. Take a lost satellite. TWS is a network and chill. Finishes off the show tonight, and it is sponsored by ImpactEurostore.co.uk. It's Impact Eurostore, sorry, ImpactEurostore.com even. For all your Impact Wrestling merchandise. Get over there to get your merchandise for Slammiversary, which is coming up next Sunday. Hopefully over here in the UK as well. More news on that on Impact Wrestling UK tomorrow morning. Before the break,
No.
I gave you a little bit of trivia.
No.
And you moaned over the last couple of weeks, my trivia has become too easy, so I made it harder. Well, I thought.
I really like this question.
So,
But I don't like it.
let's give you the question again. Who hit their 1800th career finishing move at a WWE live event this past week? Toby, have you got any ideas? I can tell you in the chat room
Yeah.
that Tack said AJ Styles.
Oh, it's career.
Punkosaurus said Big Show.
See, the first one that's coming to my head is Dolph Ziggler, but he's using the super, unless it's the zigzag, but he's using, I don't know what his finish is, but Dolph Ziggler's in my head.
He's got Super Kick, he's got the Zigzag, he's got the Sleeper, and he's got the
Yeah, he's had loads, hasn't he? But I think if you looked at Big Show or something like that, that's too long. Natalia's in my head as well, but she must have hit quite a few damage. Is 1800, sorry, is 1800 a normal number, right? Because they do their live shows every day almost.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's difficult to know. So, any ideas from your point of view? I know I've got the rounds in the chat room, so don't worry about the chat room. Anyone comes to mind who you think might have hit 1800 finishing?
Randy
there?
Orton.
You think Randy Orton?
I was thinking Orton as well, but I think he's hit more RKO's than that, is he not?
So Cybill's going Randy Orton. What are you going for, Toby?
I'm just going to stick with Ziggler. Stick with me gut and go Ziggler.
Well, I can tell you in the chat room, Shinsuke Nakamura has got it right.
Should have done Sin Balor.
He should have. Chris Twigger's got it right. The Cannon's got it right. Marty O'Quirk's got it right, and so Scotty.
Is it? I didn't know it's on Wikipedia. That's interesting.
It is Randy Orton with the RKO.
It is it?
Yeah.
What was his finish? I did the backbreaker thing to start, didn't he?
No. He did the overdrive.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
That thing where he puts his leg
Leg
over
over,
the
get the
head,
arm,
and then you're...
and it's like a spinning neck breaker-ish.
Bonus point. Who else was using that at one point?
MVP.
He wasn't. Who else was using it? Someone else. Well, I don't know. I forgot about. Someone else used it as well.
They did recently.
Well, about recent, I'm talking a while ago. Carlito used it off and on. I think
I screwed you with the MVP one.
the MVP one, you kind of blew me out of the water. I'm not gonna lie. So
Can I just say that Marty Leo Quirk has asked us to read out some of your feedback, and it was in my feedback printout.
so I did do it right. Or was
So
it?
Dan did not miss you out, so I apologise about that.
Not
I
my
missed
fault
you
for
They
a
kind of
change.
did, didn't
Not my fault
He
for a
said
change.
it was on women's wrestling. He said women's wrestling is going in the right direction with main eventing pay-per-views and the first Iron Man matches in Hells in Cells and Money in the Bank. To be honest, most of the women's matches are better than the men's. Long may it continue. The reference of divas is dead. These women are superstars and are amazingly talented.
Say the reference is dead. We used the Divas Championship for that match. What's the next first for women? Is there anything left?
We've done Hell in a Cell. Elimination Chamber.
They did that, didn't they? Did they not?
I've never seen them.
Well, there we are then.
Elimination
That's
Chamber.
next. That's all that's left, isn't it?
Have they done a TLC yet?
Are they going to have a Royal Rumble?
It's not enough for a Rumble. But
TLC?
they've done a TLC. They've done ladder. They've done table. I don't think they've done TLC. I don't think they've done a chairs
Did
match
they not? Did they not do? What was it?
Where have they done tables?
They've done tables a couple of times, but back in the day,
Beth Phoenix and Natalia
Took
defeated
on-
Lakel.
back in the day. They've done it.
They did.
Did it fairly recently with someone as well.
Was Becky and Alexa? What was that?
Becky and Alexa.
That was tables.
That was
wasn't it?
tables, yes.
So we've got TLC, Royal Rumble, and potentially Elimination Chamber.
Oh, Royal Rumble will be short,
Yeah.
small.
Well, that's right. I don't
But yeah, we're not gonna have not gonna do a 40-man.
There'll be a five women match.
Well, no, because if it's for Raw and SmackDown, you at least get 10.
At least get maybe 9 or 10.
Chris in the chat room said the Total Divas reference isn't dead, 'cause they are still doing Total Divas from a point of view of...
I think Leo Quirk mentioned about the titles
The title,
and the fact they're superstars now.
Speaking
No.
of Total Divas...
Yeah, their kind is still knocking about, aren't they, Dan?
Alexa
Yeah,
Bliss
they're
tweeted out
kind.
or Instagrammed out a photo with her and Natty, and but her Natty, it was her, Natty, and
It's her, Natty,
Nikki
and Maurice.
saying that she's on Total Divas.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, if Alexa's in Total Divas, I'm watching
They were
it.
stood around a pool, and she had they were all in bikinis, and she had this coverall thing on. And I thought, why are you covering yourself when you actually wrestle in less? You go on TV in front of hundreds of thousands and millions of viewers. I didn't understand that. But yeah, apparently she's either that or she's going to be in it for an episode.
A couple of the matches that people mentioning in the chat room about that we haven't seen yet from the Divas. Inferno match.
Oh.
Don't think we're going to see that somehow.
First Blood.
Don't think we're going to see that either.
Yeah, not with PG now.
No, I think Elimination Chamber is the next thing really.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably see.
But
something.
yeah, that'd be a good shout.
That would work. They've got enough
They
to
haven't
do that.
got
I
it
think
till
it's
next year.
That's fine.
We got it in February, didn't we?
Let's not rush through it all. So
We are in July next
Well,
week.
yeah, that's true. Did we not have one?
Next week.
Was there not any on this year?
Elimination
Was there only
Chambers.
one Elimination Chamber in that, was it?
And for the life of me, I can't remember who won it or what it was for.
Bray Wyatt.
That was in Bray
WWE
Wyatt.
title.
That was
You know,
indeed.
in
Yes.
another WWE title change on pay-per-view.
There's been a lot.
But only, fun fact,
Go on, he's got a fact now.
only one person has retained the WWE title on pay-per-view this year.
Do you know who that is, Toby?
Yeah, because it was on Money in the Bank.
It was my mate, Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal was the first person to successfully retain his WWE title at pay-per-view. Every other single pay-per-view has changed hands when it's been on the line.
Well, it's online.
Obviously, the House of Horrors would just ignore, like WWE want to.
So let's get into this. Is Network and Chill. It's your chance to have a bit of a chat about the TV this week and stuff you've seen. Whether it could be network, it could be old, it could be new. Also, we're going to cover a lot of the new stuff. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, but it is just essentially it's what you've watched this week, be it old, be it new, be it but it's not going to be in the future. But
Be it WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, whatever.
or even a live show. You mean to come to see a live show this week? Let us know.
Tell
Let
us
us know
about
what you think, who you saw. Hopefully, it's not going to be someone from last night who's going to tell us about Bram, but yeah, anything you've done this week with wrestling.
So let's go to Raw. Let's talk about Raw again. The one we've got to talk about it was they teased it for over a week. This announcement from Roman Reigns about what he was going to do at SummerSlam, or just a SummerSlam announcement, didn't they really? And he's come out and he's announced that apparently he's number one contender.
Because he can do that.
Because apparently he can do that. He hasn't got to beat anyone.
It's only you can do it because it says yard.
Yes, not
So-
his house, but his yard.
Yeah.
Because AJ's house still.
AJ's house.
Well, yeah, it was his yard, didn't it? 'Cause it was the Undertaker's yard, and he's taken it. It's AJ's. No, well, AJ must have taken it from
Paige.
because it was her. She used to scream it.
It's my house. So you got and it's
Maybe
And
they
it's Brock
co-mortgage it. I
and it's
don't know.
Brock Lesnar's universe. So you've got Brock Lesnar's
Is it?
universe, yeah, and then inside that you've got Roman Reigns' yard.
Well, that's behind AJ's house.
But isn't a yard kind of covering the whole house?
Yard's
No,
garden,
Yard's
isn't
a
it?
garden.
Oh, so the yard's a garden then. So in that case, so AJ comes first then, technically.
Well, it depends if it's
Because
front
you've
or
got
back
to have
garden.
the house.
It might be his front yard.
It's front
It
yard.
could circle the whole house.
I mean, it could circle the whole house.
Exactly.
Got a large bit of property.
So AJ could be surrounded by Reigns.
Oh god. So that kind of
That was a terrible announcement. It was so boring. Like nothing come of it. It was so
I
boring.
think they could have done other things. I think you could have said that he was challenging John Cena or something like that. That would have been interesting.
I just don't know the fact he went, I'm no more contender.
So that pretty much says to me that he is going to be in the match, at least one of the matches, the main event at SummerSlam. Do you
Does
do
it?
Reigns Lesnar, like we're going to do for Mania next year, or do you do Reigns Joe? Because Reigns and Joe had a cracking match this week on Raw. It was a good match.
Now you've had it though.
So that's my point. You've given it away again for nothing.
Well, in regards to Reigns, Shane Jones says Reigns' promo was great for a top heel. I just don't get what he's supposed to actually be, and he can just make himself number one contender. WWE's writing is at an all-time low right now, just when you think it can't get any dumber. And Kevin Walensky said Joe versus Reigns went 20 minutes on Raw. Why throw away a potential SummerSlam match if Joe wins at Great Balls? Isn't Reigns facing the champion? So he says.
Well, that's technically right. Yeah, you can get this.
Yeah.
You can get a rematch.
Let's call a spade, right? Joe hasn't beaten Lesnar. I don't think anyone's thinking that. I think.
Oh, do you know, this makes me wonder because I don't see them doing. I'm wondering why if they've done this as a bit of a red herring because I don't see them doing Lesnar and Reigns until Mania next year. So which means if you're going to do that, you're then.
I don't think Reigns is going to be in main event of SummerSlam.
So who's going to be in the main event?
Strowman.
But this so
I think you're going to have
Strowman,
Reigns and Strowman at
Great Balls.
Great Balls or something like
that
that.
has been announced.
For number one contender. They put a number one contender on it. And then we can have the Lesnar Strowman match that they were going to have at Great Balls of Fire.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then we can still have Reigns and
Lesnar.
Joe.
You still have You can
Oh,
still
so
go down
yes,
that road.
yeah, you could do yes. Sorry, so you're saying yes. You're right. You could.
Yeah, so I think there's still the big money match there on Raw. Call it whatever you want, like it or lump it, is Reigns and Lesnar. We've never seen the end of that, and WrestleMania is the best place to have that.
Or could you do? And I like the idea. I think that's probably where they'll go.
Yeah.
Could you do another way? Could you do a four-way at SummerSlam? That way, you're still having Reigns and Lesnar in the
that's a
same
big
match, but you're not
glass,
kind of. You have got a lot
What,
of
in
big
a one
guys.
fall?
So a lot of big
Yeah.
guys. It's a bit of a hard match to watch, wouldn't that be?
I don't think Lesnar can do a multi-man match like that. I think Lesnar can just throw one person around. Don't give him three. I don't think. Has he been in a multi-man match since he's come back?
No, but you
Yes,
could do
it
it. You
was
could.
a Fretch at Mania. And he's been another.
That
triple
doesn't count. That was a cash in.
threat. He's
Don't
been.
give me that.
He's been another triple threat as well.
No,
I
but
forget
you
who it was.
could do Joe, Reigns, and Strowman for number one contender match. But then that is
But then
three
who-
big lads.
Well, SummerSlam.
Wherever.
But
Because
then
then who's the young?
who's taking on Lesnar? That's the problem, though. isn't it?
Balor. Ugh.
Well, Balor seems to be completely out of the mix. I mean, Balor's going into a feud with what's his name, Mr. Drifter.
Yeah, where did Ambrose go?
Well, Ambrose.
That kind of fell away.
Ambrose is kind of busy at the moment.
Oh, what back in the? Oh god, that IC title thing.
The canon says, "I'm praying Joe beats Lesnar. Don't think it'll happen, but hope lives on." Punkasaurus says Braun beats Lesnar. Reigns beats Strowman. Reigns Les for WrestleMania.
I think that's definitely the goal, isn't it? Reigns and Lesnar for Mania.
Yeah, but the talk is all the rumors I've read is they want to get the title onto Reigns very soon, which is why they might be doing it at SummerSlam because they feel that the ratings are dropping on Raw because there is no champion there, and they want a champion on Raw every week.
So you're saying they could be pulling the trigger early on this match then?
Rumors are because they want to get the title on Reign. The idea is for Reign still to take the title off Lesnar, which it was going to be at WrestleMania. But they want the title on Raw more than it is, which I don't blame them for, because every time the title goes away, it feels like I think it diminishes the title a little bit. I don't think this championship has had any validity since the start of the year when Kevin Owens had it and made it look like a big thing. You had Goldberg win it and just walk away with it, and then Lesnar's got it and walked away with it. You need someone to be there.
I think, I know I'm arguing against my own point here, because a little while ago I said it made sense to put it on Lesnar, but I do agree a little bit. I think the show is hurting without having that championship there.
Yeah.
Not let's say week in, week out.
3 hours.
But I think you need it. Like, Lesnar came back, was it when he came back last week and he had the brawl with Joe?
Yeah.
And they had a pull apart. It sounds stupid. When he came out,
Forgot his champ.
I was like, what? Oh, he's got the belt. I completely forgot. I knew these guys were battling for the title, but my mind kind of switched off. Goes, oh, why has Lesnar got a belt? Oh God, he's the champion. I completely forgot that was the kind of where we are with this. I like Lesnar as the champion. I think it works, but I think he's not been on TV enough. And I'm not saying I want the champion there every week, because I think sometimes that helps taking people off TV and give them a bit of a break. Not with Bailey, clearly, but this current situation, I think you're right too. I think we need to have a championship on someone who's going to be there most weeks.
I think that's the feeling with the officials in WWE.
Yeah.
Is what I've read, anyway.
So in that case, the argument could be we could well get Lesnar, Reigns at SummerSlam.
Which means you're going to have Reigns defeating Strowman.
Which I think...
Then where'd you go? Strowman Joe?
I like the idea of...
Strowman Balor?
Yeah.
I prefer that one.
Yeah.
Because that's your David Goliath.
Balor could definitely bounce for him. Balor, of anyone, is the guy who should be really kind of saying, I want my title shot. This is a guy who lost, who had to vacate the title, and he's not had his one-on-one match to get what technically is his title back.
I don't think they're sold on him at the minute.
I'm beginning to wonder.
I think because he's had 2 major injuries now, I think they're a bit worried.
Well, the concussion was minor, wasn't it? It wasn't. I mean, sorry, concussion is major, but it wasn't like it was a.
What? No, the one recently. He had his shoulder. His shoulder was at SummerSlam. He had one in NXT.
Did he? Oh, he did. Yes, that's right. Yes, he did. You're right.
I can't
Yes,
remember what it
he
was
did.
now.
Back in the
Was
day.
it shoulder again, or was it knee or neck?
I want to
or
say it was
something?
knee.
He had something in
Yeah.
NXT. He had quite a major one, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a pull, I think.
So I think they're a bit dubious.
And they're booking him against the
Drifter, which is awful. Why did I just don't get it.
Going back to Strowman. What do I think of Strowman's return? Back with I liked it. I love the ambulance.
Has he
pulling
been at the hospital since he got taken out and just asked for a lift home?
Looks weak, doesn't it? Though, if he's been in
Coming
hospital
back
that long.
in an ambulance, it's just, I don't know.
And he's wearing the same clothes as well. He got taken out in.
Mhm.
I liked it. I must admit, because I was watching Raw in a hotel room because I was away at work, and I had it on. I was watching it. And I was doing some work as well at the same time, and I heard the beeping. I was like,
Looking out the window.
I was legit. I looked out the window. What the hell's that coming from? Because Reigns didn't react to it straight away, and then he kind of, oh my god! Then, as soon as he saw the ambulance, you knew it was Braun Strowman coming back. But I just thought it was great. The crowd reacted to it. They were clearly happy to see him. I think it's great.
I'm not a Strowman fan. So.
I am. I like him.
He does nothing for me. I don't get it. I don't get Strowman. But maybe one day I didn't get Kevin Owens to start with. Maybe it's a slow burn.
I think he needs a big match. I think he needs a match where this guy, and possibly potentially Reigns isn't the guy for him, but he needs a match where this guy can really show what he's made of.
I don't think he's had a big... I think you're right. I don't think he's had a big match. I can't think of one big one-on-one match he's had.
Do you know a decent match? I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think a match who could potentially make this guy seem that he's not just a monster and can actually wrestle as well. Put him against Jericho if Jericho's still around. I know that sounds really yeah. Jericho's good at making people. I don't like
Jericho's fantastic at it.
There you go. You see, so I can just see them.
Jericho, who's coming back?
Yes.
June 30th.
Allegedly.
What? Wait, he's put it out on his Instagram. He's coming to the WWE show in Japan, in Tokyo, against the Tommy by the look of it.
Is that going to be a network exclusive though? Do you think? It's
Probably like last time.
Yeah.
He was on it last time. I can't remember who he faced. I was really racking my brains earlier. But because he's obviously got his history with Japan.
Yeah.
It's where he made his name, so he likes to go back there.
Jericho obviously famously was. People claim that The Miz has taken a lot from Jericho.
Yeah,
Current
he's not the only person. But yeah.
The Miz this week, there is some interesting news about Miz and Maurice coming out as well, which we need to get to before we get to this new faction that's being put together.
It appears they are splitting the Miz and Maurice but this has not been confirmed. There are reports going around saying that Maurice and The Miz are being split up because WWE now has Mike and Maria Kanellis on SmackDown.
But they're different brands. What difference does it make? I think you take Miz away from Maurice or Maurice away from Miz, they both lose.
100%. I thought that was the idea why they moved to Raw, because Mike and Maria were going on SmackDown.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're a really good team together. I like the chemistry.
What are they going to do? What would they gain out of this?
Do we want to see Maurice back in the ring again, wrestling for the women's division?
No.
Raw needs it. We said earlier on, Raw needs some fresh ideas.
And she has made Miz.
Yes.
100%. Miz with her is much better than without.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not the only thing Miz is getting. Miz now got, this week on Raw, he got some social outcasts thrown into the mix.
Oh yeah, he couldn't get the old leader of the social outcasts in Heath Slater, so he went and got Bo and Axel.
I like it.
The entourage.
I like it. I think this makes sense. I think Miz should have an entourage.
I don't think Miz needs it. I don't think Miz needs 2 more lackeys. He's already got someone who cheats for him in Mariz. Mariz?
Mariz.
Wow, that's a great name for him.
Mariz.
Mariz.
Yeah, but
yes.
if they're splitting them up, it makes sense for him to have someone else to cheat for him.
Or maybe they'll go with Mariz. Mariz. I love Mariz. That's their new name.
Can I just point out that a couple of months ago, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas were feuding after splitting up.
Yeah, but no one cares about that because that's probably on Superstar.
It was.
Yeah, but they dressed up as teddy bears and then forgave each other.
They hugged it out, had a bear hug.
Hooray!
So did they.
Why has that joke not been done for Bailey?
Oh man, she was doing teddy bears, wasn't she, at one point?
She should have had the bear hug.
Not that way, Sybil.
I didn't say anything. It's too
Disgusting.
I like it. I think it's good. I think it gets these guys back on telly. I like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel.
Yeah, I like Axel.
I think they're solid workers, but the gimmicks are a bit dull. Hopefully now they can get something from this. And Miz is good. Miz is a good talker. He can maybe give them something. You know, some kind of personalities
I don't
changes.
think they need him. I don't think he needs them.
But
I think he had. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Miz, for the first time, bite my tongue. Miz is doing good stuff, and you don't need to ruin it.
Tack said, I like Miz having lackeys, it fits his character.
I agree.
And Chris Twigg says they're not teddy bears, they're Miz bears.
They are. They were indeed. He called them. And
Miz
Miz and Maurice Bears, he calls them. But
Is that going to be their tag name?
So there's a couple of things I don't. I don't want to see Maurice and the Miz split up.
No.
Right. I'm happy with the lackey situation, the entourage. What I am concerned about is that we're still in a feud with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Still.
But where?
What do you do with either of them if they're not feuding with each other?
Well, Dean. I thought Dean was doing Drifter,
I thought Dean was doing. And I would rather see that than Miz again.
and I'd rather see that than Finn Balor Drifter.
And I would rather see Miz and Finn Balor.
Problem is though, you're not gonna let Miz beat Finn. I don't think.
But you're going to let him beat Ambrose.
Yeah. Ambrose, who cares about Ambrose anymore, right? Ambrose is damaged goods. He's done and dusted, give up, right? Finn, they're still trying to protect a little bit.
The canon says, is Dallas now a beer lever?
That's actually quite good.
That is
It
very
is
good.
clever.
That is quite good. I like that.
I think.
Well done, Cameron.
Canon.
Yeah, we still got there's Bray and Seth as well. They're going off into their thing.
That's another feud. I am not interested. Bray and Seth.
Where did the Bray and Finn thing go?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
had legs.
And do you know what? Bray and Seth, both of them cut promos, and I just switch off with both of them. I'm like, oh, Bray, I don't understand what he's saying half the time.
It's because you're not intelligent enough.
And Seth, I think Seth's really good, but I just find his promos don't connect. But speaking of Seth, the video game advert,
Fantastic.
absolutely
Fantastic.
awesome. The breaking into the WWE.
It's the warehouse.
warehouse.
What they call it? It's
There is
it's
actually-
their name, isn't it? It's a real place.
There is actually a real place you can, and I believe you can do tours around it.
I think you can, because what he melted the Triple H mask, he threw the Austin's buggy thing.
He took Sting's baseball bat. He
He
smashed.
smashed off Andre the Giant's head.
Yeah. He also then set fire Ric Flair's robe.
Yeah, I thought it was like it was going to be a debut of someone.
Totally.
And then he pulled it off, and it was the new video game. I went, really cool advert, but that would have been really good as an intro to someone.
But also, it's a bit weird kind of way of positioning Seth, who's meant to be a babyface at the moment. All that came across really kind of heelish. He's destroying all this WWE
Well,
history.
yeah, but then it went, what did it said? Be your own man. Or
be like
something,
no
didn't it?
one.
Be like no one.
That's the
And
tagline.
that kind of fits with his recent storyline with Triple H.
Yeah, I see that.
I think, but yeah, it kind of a heel move, but it's only a video game, so
Feedback in the chat room. Chris Twiggs is saying it now. Ambrose was the weak link of the Shield. He's done nothing for any titles he's ever held.
but he won the triple threat match.
He did, yes, yeah.
Punkosaurus says,
Do the
I
show.
actually like the Brace Seth feud.
I don't get it.
I like both men. I don't want them feuding. I wanted Finn and Bray. I thought that was going to be a good feud, and Seth could have. Where would you go with Seth then? Would have been Seth Drifter.
And then
You'd
Tack
get confused
said,
who was who.
Rollins in the WWE 2K advert is awesome. Why can't we have that kind of Rollins on TV?
Do you know what? I agree with that because I think that is something that Rollins, that kind of edge, is what Rollins is missing.
Well, they were talking about putting him heel again, weren't they?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs it because, again, where does he go? I think Raw's very. They've got their top group of people and their sort of middle people when you look at Ambrose and Miz, but they don't know where they all fit in. They're just kind of rotating them round.
Can't believe I'm saying this. I think actually that they did that brand shake up. Well, they've got
Superstar shake up.
I think more of the top guys should have been shuffled around. I'm beginning to feel a little bit.
No, I don't think they. I think they shouldn't have. I think they shuffled too many.
Oh really? Okay.
Bray Wyatt should have stayed on SmackDown. He shouldn't have come to
Yeah,
Raw.
I can't agree with that. Yeah.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, one of them should have moved, not both.
Yeah, that is tragic.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't get that. But Ambrose and Ambrose, why did Ambrose move? Why did he come off SmackDown? Should have kept Kevin Owens with the US
he
title.
went the same time Miz went over.
Yeah, you should have kept US title and Owens on Raw and Dean Ambrose on SmackDown, because then suddenly look at all the matches you've got just from those two moves not happening.
Yeah, it's
It
true.
opens up so much. Instead, we've just taken two people that have feuded, so two feuds from last year, Owens and Zayn and Ambrose and Miz, and just gone, let's just put them on different shows.
So, speaking of different shows, can we just, there's a question in the chat room from Chris Twiggs we should probably get to, which is a really good one, we haven't mentioned it as yet. What do you guys think of Mauro Ranallo now moving to commentary on, or coming back to commentary on NXT? I know.
Oh, God.
Okay, putting that to one side, I think it's interesting. This is the guy who actually
He
got,
signed for Bellator 2 weeks ago.
and he also got an out of court settlement from WWE for his bullying allegations with JBL, and now he's back in the company. That is fairly quick turnaround as well.
Yeah.
They kind of mended fences or whatever.
They obviously went, we need someone on NXT, because Tom Phillips ain't going to do it forever, because he's doing a really good job on SmackDown.
He is,
Much
yeah.
better than Mauro Ranallo, however you say it. They needed on SmackDown.
Do you know what? I'm not a big kind of. I know Toby's not a big fan of Mauro Ranallo.
I hate him.
I don't mind him. My picky bit of Mauro Ranallo is if I hear him say "Mamma Mia" one more time, I will throw something on my telly.
What's the other one? The Tope Suicide or whatever.
Toby Suicida.
Yeah, shut up!
I like that. That's one of the names for it.
He just screams. It's like, now Samoa Joe used to just scream all the time. He's now stopped doing that, and he's doing good promos, right? Get this guy to stop screaming, and he'll probably be a good commentator. Till he does that,
I don't want. He knows the names. He knows the names of the moves. He knows the proper names of the moves, and he
I
does.
don't care.
No, I do. I like that.
I want story. I don't want someone shouting moves.
But you've got that from a point of view of a decent colour commentator. That's what a colour commentator is
We
there
don't
for.
have, NXT doesn't have that. I think NXT has one decent commentator right now, and that's Tom Phillips, who's obviously going.
Nigel's alright.
He's so jarring for me. So jarring. And then you've got Percy. We don't even go to Percy.
Percy Watson is
Right.
just there.
He's just, yeah, he is. He's like the David Otunga of that group. He's the David Otunga or the Byron Saxton, right? That's their role.
I think Byron Saxton's pretty good.
He's moulding better, but he's
On
still
Raw.
not like.
He's
he's
on
not needed.
SmackDown now, isn't he, Byron Saxton?
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
he is. He's not needed there. Let's be fair. You got JBL and Tom Phillips. Just leave those two.
Okay, put these in order.
Punkosaurus says ratings have dropped since Tom took over. No coincidence. Mauro made everything seem important.
I think
no,
I get what you
it's dropped since the shake-up, not since him.
I get what Punkosaurus. I kind of get what Punkosaurus. I'm not saying Tom has affected the ratings. No way from it. But I think Mauro gives that kind of legitimate feel to it, and because he calls it like a proper sport, like they would do in Bellator. And I think that's right. I do agree. He suddenly seems to get this kind of bit where he suddenly gets his volume turned right up, and he comes across as almost what I class as WWE kind of bit lines, like the Mamma Mia. It's just not needed. It's almost like ever since Joey Styles did the "Oh my God," and that it seems like every commentator.
You just look at JR.
Well, like every commentator since then has got to have a line they go to. So you've got JR's, which is Slobberknocker and all that kind of. Someone stop the dad match, all that kind of stuff. You've got the King with his puppies and that kind of line. You got Booker T, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. Everyone seems to have.
Keep going. I want to hear the whole list.
Well, Mauro Ranallo has Mamma Mia. I think Percy Watson's trying to get.
What's Corey Graves got?
Just pure gold. That's what it
Let's
is.
be fair. JBL.
Bullying
did.
in general.
JBL just then.
No, I didn't.
Shade.
No, didn't JBL. Mauro Ranallo I did. Mamma Mia.
I think yeah, hopefully if he goes saying, I don't care if he goes saying to be honest, but hopefully he doesn't. He stays there. That's what I want to get to. I don't want him on any of the main shows, especially when they had the 4-man booth on SmackDown. You had to bring in Tom to kind of settle him down.
Yeah, it's okay. So put these in levels of from a commentator's point of view. Who is from the best to the worst, right?
Yeah.
Currently.
Well,
hang on. Let me do it.
Two different types of. Are you putting teams?
No.
Alright.
Who's in your best to the worst? Percy Watson, Byron Saxton, David Otunga. Out of those three.
Snog, marry, avoid.
It's like a bad snog, marry, or avoid. Who is those three would you put as in top, then to bottom?
So bottom's Percy, 100% all day long.
I would say bottom's Percy. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd go.
I don't know. Is Otunga? Is he back on Raw?
He's not back on Raw yet.
He's not come back yet.
Booker's
Booker's still doing it, which is very.
Booker's got better.
Still, yeah, it's a little bit much. I like Otunga because he doesn't jump in as much as Byron. I think Otunga knows his role and comes in a little bit, dribs and drabs. We did on SmackDown, he just left the guys to it and kind of nipped in, and he did links.
I think sometimes I
I
thought
would put
Otunga was
Otunga top.
asleep.
I'd put him top.
See, I'd put Saxton top.
I think Saxton's right over the top.
I like it.
And
Which is why he's on top.
Hey!
I'm really happy they separated him and Corey Graves because they were doing my head in.
I like that. I thought those two had a nice dynamic.
They were too much for
It
me.
was too much, and that's the problem you get with comments.
But now he's gone with JBL, so it's the same thing.
Okay, if you look at commentators, you've got Impact. You've got.
Oh God, let's not even start.
You've got you've got Josh Matthews and JB fighting on commentary the whole time.
Why did Impact not jump all over Maranello? Because he's perfect for them. And then you could have pushed JB back off onto his ring announcing. You could have Josh, Maro, and the Pope, and that would have worked.
Scotty 220 and Taka, both Saxon, Watson, and Tunga.
Saxon, Saxon
Tunga
Watson. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Watson, I watched a whole episode of NXT and didn't realise Watson was there till 5 minutes to the end. Right, that's so. But I think that their role is supposed to be a little bit here and there. I think Saxton tries to take over a bit.
Going back to stuff.
And they make a storyline out of him being bullied by JBL. Like, come on.
Well, JBL is currently on SmackDown, and there is rumours coming out about a match which will happen at the next SmackDown pay-per-view, which is Battleground. And I just wanted to get everyone's general feel on this, whether you'd heard it or not. So the rumours, and I say air quote, is it will be again for the WWE Championship. We thought this match at the Money in the Bank was going to be the blow-off between Jinder and Orton, but it's not, clearly.
Because they're bringing back an old favourite.
There's rumours that the Punjabi prison match is coming back at Battleground between the two of them.
Literally just because it has the word Punjabi in it.
And he's Indian, apparently.
He is being billed from Punjab, India.
Do we want to see this match again? I kind of do.
I
don't know why.
I don't want to see Orton and Mahal again either.
Do you know what? I thought they've had two solid matches. They've not been 5-star classics.
It's been solid because they've hardly touched each other because Orton's gone after his lackeys.
That's true.
For most of the match.
That's the funny part. I just like seeing how Orton's going to kill the Singh brothers. That's what he seems to do.
They was doing Money in the Bank again. I think they did it on purpose.
I think they did as well.
I was like, oh.
These Singh brothers must have like 9 lives. Like cats, because they just seem
they're making most of their 15 minutes TV time.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
We're going to be gone in a month. Let's just take it all.
Chris Twigg says, I don't mind the Punjabi prison match. I personally like the gimmick.
We've had 2, haven't we?
We've had 2. Can you name them?
Punkosaurus reckons it's fake news.
We're saying this is rumoured. It's not necessarily true.
It's not true.
Not true.
Can you name the people who were in the original Punjabi prisons?
Batista was the first one because it wasn't Great Khali.
Great Khali was in one of them.
He was in the second one.
He was in the second one with Batista.
That was it?
Yeah.
So Batista was the second one. It was Undertaker and Big Show.
It was indeed. Yes.
Great Khali decided to get injured.
He did. He got Undertaker got thrown through the door by Big Show. That's how it works. Yes. Yeah. Good memory, Sybil.
Some things. Where are we?
I don't know. It is rumoured, but
I don't think we need those two. I think we should move him off to a different feud.
The only thing is, did Seth Rollins not burn down the Punjabi prison? We went to the warehouse. That's wood. That would have burned beautifully.
Do you reckon that's where it's stored?
That's got to be stored somewhere, mate.
Next to the Inferno match stuff. It was a terrible idea. Who planned this?
It's rumoured. We'll let you know more when we do it. But yeah, as Punk saw in the chat, it's a good possibility it's fake news. But
it's fun fake news.
It is fun, yes.
Battleground, right? Let's say it's not Orton. Who should be next?
Well, they could do a TV match between Orton and Jinder between now.
They're right. No, their feud's done. Move
Yeah.
off, right? Mahal's beaten them twice. Who is the next in line?
I would say AJ, but AJ's going after Owens again by the looks of things.
We've got a little bit longer with Orton and Mahal, you know, because
Yeah.
Orton's gone all the way to India to KO his family. Now,
That's what-
Mahal is not going to sit and stand for that, is he? So we've got a little bit longer.
How gutted is Orton going to be when he flies all the way over there and he realises
Find
that?
her in Canada.
It's
We'll find out it's Canadian. No, we haven't got Mr. Mahal here. I think you're in the wrong country. I don't. My regional comment would be AJ, but to answer your question, but he's going with Owens.
And,
Yeah.
and the rumour is SummerSlam Cena, isn't it?
Well, also the other rumour as well for SummerSlam, which what we're talking about that is, which I think is yes, take my money. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles.
They teased it.
They teased it.
So we're thinking it's going to be Baron and Shinsuke probably at Battleground.
I would say so.
I'd say.
Yeah.
AJ and Shinsuke, yeah, why not? And that's the big match that's going to make Shinsuke.
And it's also the match that's going to appeal to a lot of the smarter internet
Yeah,
fans.
those
They're gonna watch-
guys.
Absolutely.
Those guys.
You're
They
gonna-
love that stuff.
I'm gonna love it. That little standoff stare they had.
You're a man who doesn't like Shinsuke Nakamura.
I don't, but I love AJ.
You just see that's
You
how
love
good AJ
AJ?
is.
I love AJ.
Since when?
I love AJ.
I think since you tanned him. Remember that? Remember
I
when
mean,
you
is it good?
tanned the former WWE champion?
Yeah.
Good memory.
And a former IWGP champion. You know, you tanned him. That's the
I
way.
have photographic proof.
She touched his skin. So, yeah, I think that will appeal to a lot of people. Now, I think that shows, especially if you how good AJ is, that you don't even like someone and you're like, take my money because AJ's in the match.
Taxing the champion AJ Nakamura from Mania. I don't see him.
I don't think you could keep those two on that show that long
Agreed.
without, because they're going to have some sort of interaction.
Yeah. I think the problem that
I think you want to jump on top of it because you had it Money in the Bank.
Yeah, one of the negatives of this brand split is when you've got guys on the same brand, it's very hard to keep them apart. Like they are going to struggle. They're not going to. They are going to struggle to point keeping Reigns and Lesnar apart.
Yeah.
But it's easy with Lesnar not only doing limited dates, but when you've got someone who's on that show week in, week out, it's even harder to keep those guys apart.
But what kind of surprised me a little bit, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Styles and Nakamura, they had a face-off, a little bit of a face-off, didn't they?
They did.
But Nakamura didn't go after Corbin.
No, well,
Well,
not really.
not
no,
really.
no. I mean, not,
Corbin beat him down
at the,
Oh,
at the
yeah.
beginning of the match.
yeah, there wasn't. You would,
And it was like, and then Nakamura came back and pretty much didn't sell anything, and didn't go after Corbin.
and this week on
And then
on
taking
SmackDown.
down AJ Styles. Was he knocked out? You thought it was AJ or something? Is that going to be the story then? Who knows?
Well, it looks like they are going away from that, but Nakamura Corbin, that hasn't even.
If they're going to go
had
away
a-
with it, why bother doing it?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't even had a payoff for it. For even on this week on SmackDown, there was no kind of follow up from
And
it.
now we're going Sami Zayn Corbin, aren't we?
Next
Yeah.
week we are.
I mean, makes no sense.
No.
Well, speaking of things that make sense, we've got to mention it. I think we kind of touched on it earlier. Cody Rhodes.
Oh, priceless friend.
Right, yes.
Legacy.
Winning the Ring of Honor World title at their Best in the World pay-per-view this past
The
week.
American Nightmare.
First time.
Terrible taste in pizza, by the way.
First time a Rhodes has held the World Championship in probably about 20 years,
God, is it?
maybe if not longer.
Yeah.
And there is a possibility that Cody will be a dual champion. He has got the IWGP Championship
Which
match
is
coming up.
what the Young Bucks have the two, don't they?
They're the tag champion. Yeah, they have the junior tag champions.
And they have the Ring of Honor tag champions.
Yes, they do.
So they got
Yeah.
the dual tags.
Um,
All you need, come on, Marty, get your belts back.
has Marty lost his belt?
He lost it like a month ago, mate.
I generally didn't know. Has it really? Who did he lose to?
It's a Japanese bloke.
Oh, really? Oh, he lost.
He had a rematch as well on Best in the World.
I haven't seen
and
Best in the
lost.
World. Generally haven't seen Best in the
Well,
World.
sorry, spoiler alert.
Okay.
He lost. He didn't get his title back. He lost it. You know, they had those 4 shows in a row last month. Can't remember what they were called.
Oh, they did have a tour, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on that.
Well, there you go.
Can't remember his name. I do apologise, but Marty. I didn't realise the other week. And I looked at it and went, hang on. I was like, he didn't have his belt with him. I was like, where's his belt gone? Google. Oh, he lost it. Oh.
I saw
Whoops.
a
Probably should've
picture
known that.
from Best in the World of him Cody celebrating with Marty and the Young Bucks, and they all had titles apart from mine. I'm like, oh, where's the TV title gone?
Lost it.
That makes sense now.
Lost
He
it.
lost to Kushida. That was it. The match. I do remember now. Thank you, Cannon.
Yeah.
Kushida took it off.
And he had his rematch and didn't get it.
There you
Which
go.
would have been all the Ring of Honor titles with Bullet Club. But,
Yes, the tag titles. Yeah.
6-man tag though.
6-man tag.
That's now Dalton Castle and the boys.
Wow, you are completely ruining best in the world for me. I'm not going to
Well, you should have watched it
Should
before we
have
start
watched
talking
it.
about
Should have watched
it
it, mate.
on the UK's #1 wrestling podcast, Dan.
Absolutely.
It was gonna come up, right?
So they beat the
Briscoes and
Bully Ray.
Right.
That makes sense actually. They were teasing up on TV. That all does make sense actually. So.
It seems a bit down for Dalton Castle.
Don Castle was
And a man that WWE wanted.
There was rumours he was going to be, but I think he's just re-signed with Ring of Honor.
Because they probably said we'll give you some belts.
There you go. Makes
With
sense.
your boys.
Speaking of giving stuff to you, we're going to give stuff to you now ourselves because
Oh,
we, as in TWS, like to give away each and every time we have a pay-per-view preview in our pay-per-view prize pack.
you almost fell back then to each and every week.
Well, to be fair, with the number of bloody pay-per-views there are, it is pretty much each and every week at the moment, isn't it? So we have got a prize pack which we gave away, which we announced last week. Cybil, do you want to run down the list of what the people are going to potentially could win?
Money in the Bank 2016 on DVD. EC3 T-shirt, which I would like. Is that not right?
That's right.
That's right.
What are you looking at?
He's
He's
signaling
something else.
TNA beanie hat and a TBA sticker.
a Brothers All sticker. Is that they've got there? See on the studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a TVA sticker. Do you know what?
They're
Seriously,
doing well actually with their merch, aren't they?
at the amount of time they were flogging it on this show last week as well.
Yeah, they got their website up and running, haven't
The cartel website, yeah,
they? Yeah.
yeah,
I see all the pictures coming up.
yeah. Go get your
I mean, we're not going to plug them as well, are we? Can we
No,
plug
we're not. No, actually, I'm not going. Do you know what I'm going to plug? Go give at James Daniels MC
Oh,
a
God.
follow on Facebook. At James Daniels MC. No merch needed. Just like it and share it with your friends.
I've got no links to wrestling, so don't worry about me. Quickly, I want to pull us back. Well, you haven't even announced who's won it yet.
I'm not the winner. So
Oh, yeah.
basically, anyone who shared or retweeted our podcast.
Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we making it so easy for people? All they had to do was
Share.
or retweet our
and
podcast.
retweet or retweet our podcast.
That's ridiculous.
That's straightforward. Or be in the chat room. We do a preview at TWSwrestlingshow.com.
And that's it.
Live.
That's it. To get all those prizes, that's all they have to do.
And the winner this week, drawn randomly before the show, actually is from the chat room. And he or she is from the chat room now.
I don't
Well, I don't know.
I'm being stupid.
The name's Boo 00. I don't know whether it's male or female. So congratulations, Boo. You have
Congratulations.
1 week to send your name and address to studio@TWSwrestlingshow.com.
1 week.
1 week. Studio@TWSwrestlingshow. Studio@TWSwrestlingshow.com. Your name and address, please. And your t-shirt size.
Congratulations.
And we're going to out you.
So I
Go
want
on.
to bring it back because we've completely forgot one of the biggest talking points of the week, and I need to discuss it.
Go on.
What ended Raw? What Raw went off the air with? The main event of Raw we have not talked about.
I
We
can't
have
believe
not
we forgot about
talked about the biggest breakup
I
in
completely
wrestling
forgot.
history.
Heartbreaking breakup.
Well done, though, wasn't it?
Enzo and Kaz are no more.
Enzo and Kaz. Kaz has turned heel.
Hill?
Hill.
Hill.
On Kaz, he's now saying he's the biggest star. Gone off, give him the boot. Enzo cried.
Literally gave him the boot.
Yes, Enzo cried.
It was.
We've had a lot of feedback on this actually.
Yeah, go on. I guess let's have some of that.
We've
From
had
people.
Francis Reyes says, with Enzo and Big Kaz, who will become HBK and who will become Janetti now they've split?
Come on, we don't need to even say that, do
Andy
we?
Keenan, hats off to Enzo and Kaz. I can see in Kaz the way he did the whole segment. I'm Jamie Tipton. I'm glad Enzo and Kaz are split up. They were going nowhere with them. A good show as well, mostly.
So
That was Raw in general. I think he's talking about.
yeah.
I
So let's address Francis Reyes, HBK and Janetti. Do we need to address that? Do we need to say who's going to be the man for this?
can we have?
I feel so sorry
Can we
for
draw a
Enzo.
line under this saying about people?
No.
Who's the Mighty J team? I hate that.
Unless you think of a better one.
You
No.
can't. It's freedom of
Who's
speech.
going to be the Enzo and who's going to be the Big Kaz? It might be in a few years' time.
Who's going to be the JTG and who's going to be? No, they both sucked.
Miz and Morrison.
Miz and Morrison works.
Morrison's
although
still doing
they're-
quite well.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
their whole
I'm saying that.
storyline was about who was the Janetti.
Yeah, true.
There's got to be some other tag teams that have split recently.
Who's going to be Road Dogg? Who's going to be Mr. Ass?
Well, only one of them is still employed by the company.
There you go. That's me.
So-
Yeah, that works.
We're saying that, right? Because I always think Enzo's a bit of a road dog,
Oh, very much so.
right? Where is Enzo going to go from this? Kaz is obviously going to get this big push, right? This monster push, and we kind of knew that was going to come.
My assumption is they're going to have a match of Great Balls of Fire, which
Yeah.
Enzo's going to probably lose.
But you say that, but the smaller guy tends to win.
Well, they did between
JT and Shad.
JTG and Chap and the Crime Times Bloods.
Usually that guy has his first and only win and then goes away.
But with regards to Enzo and Kaz, I think your question is a valid one, and it's one that I think me and Cybil talked about a little about today. What do you do with Enzo now?
I feel like he's going to go to 205.
Well, Punkasaurus says Enzo has the sizzle. He can learn to work at or be a manager.
So that's
He
a
could manage someone.
He could manage, because even Triple H said, like, he doesn't see any money in in Enzo going forwards. He doesn't see any ring money for Enzo. He's just such a good mouthpiece.
But they don't use I know Paul Heyman's the example to that. Against my argument, exception to the rule, but they don't use managers. They've had the ability to use managers in the past, and they've kind of shied away from it.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's time to go back to it.
I don't know. I just don't see. I like the idea. I think.
Who would he manage though?
That's the question. Who do you put him down with?
It's got to be if you're going to bring any of these tag teams up, like a lot of the tag teams and a lot of the new guys, like Apollo Crews or someone like that, you know, who are great in ring, terrible on the mic.
Hang on, let's first call out Spade out here. Titus O'Neil is managing technically Apollo Crews.
Make a deal, Titus O'Neil.
And do you know what? He is excellent in that role. Yeah. I really enjoy.
So there you
Titus.
go. You get to do that. But what we said, because it was well done, and actually,
that team's gone years ago.
Yeah. To argue my own point, I felt like these guys needed to have a title reign, and I think they would have had it at WrestleMania if it weren't for the Hardys. But the fact they haven't has kind of made Kaz's argument much better, because they've never held titles together.
I actually like the fact they never had a title. I think it actually makes this split seem more legitimate.
Yeah.
What Kaz is saying.
I think they could have done it. It's too soon. I think
there was more. They had more time. But the problem is the tag team division on Raw. You've kind of seen them feud with everyone apart from the Hardys. It's like, well, what do you do with them?
If you didn't put the titles on them, you've got nowhere to go with them, because you can't keep having them lose to the champs. And
no.
There is, let's call a spade a spade. If you're not in that title match, there is no tag team feud.
Not really.
Right?
No.
There is none. So it makes sense, but I am a bit worried on where they go with it, because I don't think either of them. I think both are going to lose from this. I can't see either of them coming out really strong. I don't even see Kaz coming out really strong.
Kaz isn't a main eventer yet, though. He's got a long way to go.
Kaz again needs a feud with someone kind of mid card who's a good hand, who can kind of get some decent matches under his belt. Again, I go back to my mind's up like someone like Jericho. If Jericho was still knocking around,
I don't see him as a. I can't. If I looked into my crystal ball in a year's time, I don't see Kaz
being there.
Still being a.
I see
a top
Enzo
guy.
still being there though.
Do you know what?
As a little fodder, he'll be R-Truth. That is what Enzo's going to be.
Yes.
Do you know what? That's
Joel
a tag
Ziggler.
team. That's a tag team. R-Truth and Enzo. I'm saying it now. R-Truth, Enzo, tagging out.
Actually, I could see that happening.
They do some rap to the ring.
I would just point out that, in all honesty, guys, you may not see Big Cass as money.
WWE do.
WWE do. And the way they pushed him when Enzo was out injured that time, and
When he broke his leg.
Yeah.
This is when they saw him as money, because they didn't believe in him.
Someone in the chat room said that Mike the Quirk, I think, said that when Enzo was injured, Kaz did a good job.
He did on Raw and on NXT that time.
What was his first feud in NXT after the leg break? His
His
first solo feud. I'll give you a clue. The guy is still in WWE and has recently become a solo artist after his tag team partner left.
Solo artist? The Drifter?
No. Come on, Dan.
I don't know.
Solo artist.
I generally...
Aiden English.
Oh, of course.
When he used to sing to the ring. And
Yes.
then Big Kaz did it as well. Big Kaz, and that was the first. Everyone thought he was terrible on the mic. And then he come down and started singing to the audience. It was fantastic.
Scotty's got a real good comment in the chat match, which I think really kind of nails where Enzo could be for me. He could be the next Santino.
Oh, God, no.
I think,
Easy, but...
yeah. But he means he'd never get any higher than mid-card at best.
Oh, I think it'd be a stretch to mid-card, if I'm honest.
I
could see him on 2... They might put him on 205.
I
think... some
think
cruiser matches.
you can protect Kaz if you put him with the right workers with him. And I'm trying to think on Raw and Smack. He needs one on Raw who can go into a feud with who's a face and who's a good hand.
Finn?
Do you know what? Absolutely. Yeah. Why not? Finn. I would.
Rollins?
Or Rollins. Yeah. Depends how much you want to elevate Kaz.
I don't think Rollins can do a lot of his moves on Kaz. Finn would probably be a better shout.
Finn would be a good shout. I'm trying to think how much you could. Ambrose.
That's a really good shout to start with.
Ambrose.
Because you can just walk all over Ambrose.
Yeah.
Everyone else does.
Why not?
He's got nothing, is he?
And Ambrose has a bounce. Ambrose could, like Cybil said about Ziggler, Ambrose is almost the Raw version of Ziggler. He can just bounce for everyone.
Yeah.
So you could.
And no one cares about
Big
him.
Kaz could throw him around like crazy. And Big Kaz had beaten a former world champion.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Look what I'm doing on my own now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
while Enzo's doing some
Doing-
comedy skit.
Comedy skit on the pre-show or something.
Selling chicken.
He sells chicken well. That KFC advert. That was
Maybe
there.
he'll be a colour commentator. He might move in like
We need
CM Punk did when he was injured.
We need another. He's not injured though, is he?
No, but you know,
I don't
he
know.
could fit in. I think Punk was injured, but this guy, you know, Enzo could do it.
For me, the future's bright for Kaz. I'm not too sure for Enzo where he really goes.
I worry for both of them.
Well, tell us what you think at TWS Radio. But I will say one thing. I think the end of Raw segment was really well done. It was given, and the fact it was main event
This was main event.
makes me think they think big money on Kaz.
Mhm.
That should be his name.
How hilarious it would be if Enzo come out of this and he was the next big guy.
He takes on Brock Lesnar and beats him.
Oh my god, talk about underdog.
What about name for Kaz? Big Money Kaz. Because he's a big Kaz now. He's a big money Kaz.
You know how long before they put him and Carmella together?
Oh yeah. Well, they're on separate
They're a real
brands.
life couple.
They are real life couples. Couples.
Maybe he'll go to SmackDown and take out Ellsworth. And then you'll have Big Money Kaz with the Money in the Bank Carmella.
I like Enzo.
I like
I
Enzo.
see them doing something with him. He just needs to find his little niche.
It's going to be niche.
It's
I think you're
comedy,
right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to be comedy. We all know that. He's not going to get away from
We
that.
could possibly pop him back down to NXT for a while and feud with a couple of people down there.
Actually,
And
do you
then
know
bring him
what?
back
Bit of a kick in the teeth, though, isn't it?
But then Cesaro went back down, and so did Tyson Kidd back in the day. Guys,
Tyson Kidd never come back up, really.
no, bless him, he never did.
Cannon said, or Kaz goes on a losing streak as a solo guy and comes crawling back to Enzo. They then win the titles for the first time.
I can see them at some point coming back together.
all tag teams
Of
do
course,
they?
yeah.
Well, the
Go on.
case in point, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty never really came back. They did a one-off.
They did a one-off.
Still, that was a comeback.
But I think there's now
One match is. Who was that against?
La Resistance.
Oh God.
If memories. No, was it La Resistance? No, it was Mohammed Hassan and Davari.
Before Hulk Hogan came back.
Yeah, I swear it was. I might be wrong there actually. We're gonna get fact checked on it.
Yeah, they usually do these. They're not big. If you think about it, they're not actually a big tag team. They haven't been together that long. They haven't got history.
But they've got their merchandise sold, and they were quite popular. So that's what they put the Outlaws back together a couple of times, didn't they?
Well, they had a tag run a few years ago.
There you go.
Emma also went. Chris Twigg says Emma went back down to NXT and look what they did to her.
Yeah.
Are we making that? That's not a good
That's not
story.
a good story.
No, that is a good story.
Well,
Where
nothing's
is she?
happened.
They took off that stupid gimmick when they gave her like a solid role.
And
what
then they
happened with
changed her
that?
to Emelina, who never
And
came.
she's now back on Raw again. She's back on Raw this week.
Hardly back on.
Is she wrestling?
Yes, she's on Raw. She's on
I think
Raw.
the
Is she
only-
winning?
I think
All the women were brawling
right,
this week. So
the
that's-
only case of anyone ever dropping back down to NXT and coming up stronger is Zack Ryder.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What with Mojo and the Hype Bros?
I think
It's
Cesaro
the
went down to
Actually, and he
Cesaro went
got
down
a
to
title
and came back
after.
up stronger.
I don't think Cesaro ever fully. No, he didn't know because before he was in WWE before NXT started, wasn't he? Before it came
Yeah.
up as NXT,
So
because he got brought in by Aksana
he did. That's right. Good memory. Good memory.
in against Teddy Long, or something like that.
Yeah, because she was just dumped Teddy Long or something.
Yeah. This is no, 'cause they were together.
They were,
They were
right,
just
yes.
friends, weren't they? They were just friends.
That was after Oksana married
Married
Goldust.
to get her citizenship,
Oksana, there's someone.
and then she divorced him and took the $1 million title.
Oksana, there's someone for the
I
Mayan
liked
Classic.
Aksana. I did.
Let me entertainment you. That was her famous line. I love that. That was a big
She
one.
was, if you ever watched the highlight package of her, it's awful.
There's a highlight package?
Yeah, it's just botches. It's full of botches. It's awful.
I might check that out.
And then we were talking about women's revolution earlier.
So, you know what? It's 9:15, guys. It is time to wrap this show up. It's been a cracking show. There's loads still to talk about. So the conversation will continue at TWS Radio across social media. Next week, another big week in TWS. Next Tuesday in the morning, so we release it at 5 a.m, we will have a special Total Talk with a Robbie Nitro, British wrestling star, who is the promoter of CWF.
We're not talking about him. He's on the wrong column in Pizzagate.
Well, find out which column that is when we release the podcast.
You've already put it. It's on the screen.
They can't really see it.
You got Zoom. Does Zoom work on
So
Facebook Live?
he talks all about the the CWF, as well as talks about Pizzagate as well, plus a lot more.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Hashtag spoiler alert. Next Sunday, the family are back.
Why, just quick question, maybe off-air question, why do we release it at 5?
5 a.m?
Yeah.
Because that way I think if everyone gets up and they hit refresh on their iTunes and that kind of stuff, it's there for when before they go to work.
What are you? You're thinking about people's commute?
I'm thinking about people's commute to work.
It's nice of you.
Well, do you know what? In all honesty, if anyone knows a better time to release a podcast, time-wise, please let me know, because I'm just working on kind of what I think works.
Stab in the dark.
Yeah. So if you like your...
Well, surely the downloads will tell you what works and what doesn't work.
Do we have that information?
We don't have not from iTunes. iTunes doesn't provide us that level of information.
Please tell us the day.
Yeah, so if you could say
iTunes.
5 o'clock in the evening works better for me, or whatever, which I am genuinely curious to that.
You know you're going to get like 3 people reply and they're all
All
going to say
different
different
times.
times. Alright, we'll just do it in the middle.
Hang on, what makes you think we've got 3 listeners? That's being a bit positive. You know what I mean? Next week the family are back. If you're listening live, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and there is loads they're going to be covering next week. We've got so much coming up this week, which is advertised ahead of time. On Raw, we know we're going to get the debut of the Shattered Truth, the Gold Dust video on R-Truth. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I think that's
What's happening with it? They're going to have their match of
Great Balls of Fire. Yeah.
I thought they were going to do Extreme Rules, but that never happened.
You also find out whether Akira Tozawa will sign with the Titus brand or not. I'm saying now,
I don't care.
Rich Swann is going to turn heel and join the Titus brand, and Akira Tozawa is not. That's my prediction on that one. Just saying.
Why, Dan?
It's got
Is
this
there
feeling.
a common theme?
No, but now I get what theme you're talking about, but no, that wasn't what I meant.
Dan.
Yes. Plus, probably the biggest.
Sexist, down there.
I'm being racist, yeah. The biggest thing on the show is Lesnar returns to Raw.
Literally biggest.
Literally the biggest thing. But SmackDown's a lot more, so we've already run down the SmackDown card already, but what we haven't mentioned is that Rusev is advertised for this week's SmackDown live shows. So there's a good possibility Rusev may well be on SmackDown this week. And NXT.
And are we going to see Mike and Maria?
Yeah, that's the question. When are we going to see Mike and Maria? We might have to start doing a Mike and Maria watch. Like we do
Well, JTG and
Spud Watch
went so well.
So why not do one of them? And also NXT this week we might have a new women's champion where Asuka goes against Nikki Cross in her last women's standing match. So there's all that to talk about. Plus next Sunday it is Slammiversary. As things stand, we will be previewing Slammiversary with Team Wars, which means there are prizes to be won in a pay-per-view prize pack as well.
What's that? That makes me think of a childhood program.
What?
No, it's a big one.
Funhouse. Which apparently is coming back.
Is it?
They're apparently doing a reboot of Funhouse.
Who's going to host that? Not Sharpie.
Not.
He can't do it.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. No, it was the guy who's in Art Attack. Not Art Attack.
That was Pat Sharp as well.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
No, that was Neil Buchanan, mate.
Neil Buchanan.
There was a guy, Mark, someone, he was in another show like that. He was the one who died.
No, really? Did you know Pat Sharp allegedly had a relationship at a separate time with both the twins from Funhouse?
I think you have told me that before. Why have we talked about Funhouse before?
No. Do you remember Funhouse, Cybil?
Yeah.
Do you used to watch it as a kid?
Yes.
Did you like it? Did you like Pat Sharp?
See, Dan watched it as a teenager.
Yeah. I watched it as a kid.
I always wanted to go on it. Imagine having to clean up behind that place afterwards, though, because stuff went everywhere, didn't it?
Anyway.
No, we're not. I think someone wants to go
Wrap it
home.
up.
I think someone wants to wrap it up. Right.
Pat Sharp, DG's name. Thank you, Cannon. He does on our radio show
Actually,
summer.
He had a show on Open Reach FM.
Did he?
Yeah. BT Open Reach FM. They had their own radio station. It's gone now. Pat Sharp used to do the breakfast show. How far he'd fallen.
I've only discovered this the other day, and I'm probably totally out of touch that Chris Morse is back on the breakfast show, not on BBC Radio.
He's on X. Radio X.
Oh, he's been there forever.
Yeah, since Radio X became Radio X.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise. Was it any good?
It's basically the Chris Moore show. He's even got Dom on there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I don't think it's got Comedy Dave.
No. Oh, can I say this? Yeah, I can say this. They fell out. Major falling out.
Yeah.
I got this from a close source. You probably know.
I wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah, legitimately had a major falling out.
Oh.
Apparently, fun fact. There you go.
They did a live show. Didn't
I don't
they?
think there's anything fun about falling out of song.
No, true.
Just fact.
Just a fact.
Just fact.
Just a Kurt Hawkins fact. Yeah, drag it back to wrestling.
No, because his facts aren't real facts.
And again, nothing to do with Kurt Hawkins.
That's the first time we've
You're
mentioned
just
Kurt
a
Hawkins in
liar
a long
as
time.
well as
Very long time.
sexist and everything else.
Oh God, jeez.
Sexist, racist, you're everything down here.
Well, we are finishing tonight with theme of the week,
We are.
which for the life of me I can't remember who requested it. What song is it, Toby?
It is, of course, Mike and Maria Kanellis with True Love.
And it was actually requested by, says he trying to find it, Marty Leoquo.
I thought it was, but I didn't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, he requested that one. He requested a whole load. You
And
can.
as soon that was 100% going to be the pick. Let's be fair, because it's a great song.
It was either that or Enzo and Cass.
Oh what?
That was another choice, wasn't it?
Oh.
Who's getting new music? Kaz.
I would say
Cass.
Cass.
Well,
Huey.
yeah.
And a new t-shirt because he threw the t-shirt away.
Is it going to be hard? Does that work?
How do you spell hard wrong?
I don't know, but they spelled soft, so swap.
Swaff. Yeah, actually, to be fair, Kaz has got to come up with a whole new gimmick now.
Hard.
He's got to come up with everything, new catchphrases, everything. Not like Triple H when he first left DX.
Pat Sharp's on Sam FM.
Sam FM.
Yeah.
You like
Was Jack FM.
You like Sam FM, don't you?
That local one.
It's digital.
Is he around this neck of the woods then?
Is it digital?
This
No.
No, it's not digital.
No, it's FM as well.
Oh, okay.
I think that whole advert is Sam FM. Anywho, we're not plugging a different
people
show.
actually are leaving the chat room then. So can we get on and do theme of the week? Thanks very much, guys.
Right, okay, Steve.
Alright, on that note.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up for another week. If we hope you enjoy the show, please let us know your feedback at Total Wrestling Show or TWS Radio on social media or studio@totalwrestlingshow.com. Good or bad, we always want your feedback. Toby, any last words before we get out of here tonight?
I better not.
No, you better not. She's
Better
in
not.
a bad mood. Cybil, do you want to
Hang on. Just gonna play it. You know what I mean, guys.
Cybil, anything out there?
No.
No? You tired?
Well, don't look at stare at me.
Do you want to talk about anything else, Cybil?
No.
No, nothing else you want to talk about?
Any other children's TV shows you want to bring up?
Mask?
Anything happening in the
Transformers?
news?
My Little Pony?
Talk about your cap.
Talk about
What
your
was
cat?
like the gummy bears?
Well, the gummy bears.
Who?
Not the gummy
Who?
bears. What are
Who?
they called?
Care Bears.
No.
Then there were gummy bears.
They were, weren't
There
they?
were gummy bears as well.
Huh?
Bears in here and
No, who Care Bears are.
There were gummy bears. There were gummy bears
They
as
had
well.
gummy veggies.
Never heard of it.
You're an idiot.
Oh, I'm just the youngest in the room.
Play the song.
Play the song.
Okay, right, we're going to finish the theme of the week, as I said. Please join us next Sunday, 7 PM UK, 2 PM Eastern, TotalWrestlingShow.com. Thank you for listening tonight and thank you for downloading. It has been a real fun show. We've been all over the place, but we've had a lot of laughs. Tangents galore. I've been Dan, she's been Cybil, he's been Toby, and we've been the Total Wrestling Show. And this, for Cybil, is finally show
Off.
We're going to turn everything off now because Cybil's very tired and clearly doesn't want to be on the air anymore. Say bye-bye, Cybil.
Get out of here!
Down Periscope.
No.
And off Facebook Live.
Off Facebook Live. Nothing good there.
Facebook Live's now dead.
Well, that was like a bottom.